Stugotz, did you see what me and Cody were doing? Could you guys hear in the other room what me, Cody, and Chris were trying to do in this room, even though it's soundproof? Could you hear it?
No, I couldn't really hear it, to be honest.
Did any of you see what me and Greg were practicing with Chris and how operatically I was trying to sing? Like, it's a side of me I don't think Chris Cody has ever seen, correct? Like that in the history of, I've known you since you were a little boy. In the history of you and I knowing each other, have you ever seen me sing operatically?
No, and when you did it, I wanted to immediately switch you for my dad, because we have my dad about to do something here to start the show, and you crushed it.
But your dad has a great singing voice.
You know, he coughs.
Well, so here's the problem that we have. I don't have a lot of confidence in what's coming next. I'm worried about a lot of things about what's going to happen next, okay? Because this is a matter of timing, and when we ask him to sing and hit comedic notes sometimes, he does what he did in New York, which is run out on stage when we're doing a live performance that we had rehearsed and run right past his lines and run right past his singing and his cue, because he was just awash in applause and just lost track of where he was. He was just so happy to be entering a place and being cheered that he forgot what he was there to do and ran right past the microphone. We are asking the singing sports writer, who at this point we can all agree, the voice, shot, likely to produce laughter and then coughing, not what you want around the anthem. Two things, not what you want around the anthem. Correct? We agree? Everyone would agree. You don't.
Shot, voice, and coughing.
So, yeah. Chris, when we were practicing this, I was saying he's going to cough, and he's like, I won't cough, and then he started coughing.
Huh. I have no confidence in this. I think he's going to screw it up. I mean, he's always going to win, so I think it's going to be funny regardless, but him nailing this, I don't really see it.
I am fascinated at the idea of Dan having a better voice. Is that what you're saying? Like, Dan has a good voice? I've never heard Dan sing. Do you sing out loud?
I made a musical.
Yes, we did make a musical. It was an achievement, that thing. It made us all sound like we could sing.
We all forgot about it 2 years later, which is the craziest achievement.
It is weird. It's a weird reaction to the making
Mike
of a
hasn't
musical.
forgotten it.
No.
The YouTube audience hears it every day during the breaks.
That's right. It still lives. It lives a vibrant life, though not a Grammy-winning one, to Mike's eternal failure. He wanted to win a Grammy for musicals.
I got something for Mike later, by the way.
Why are you laughing at Mike for not winning a Grammy?
It haunts him.
It haunts him for sure, and that's the one thing he feels like he's missing in his life, and he doesn't have it. It makes me laugh. But I also have something for Mike later. Don't forget that, okay?
He doesn't have the E or the OT either, though. In the EGOT. You can't say it's the one thing you're missing if you don't have all four.
Well, no, but like one thing he's missing like inside, right? He doesn't have to be an EGOT. He's just really wanted that G, but now he doesn't have that G. Maybe he can get a T. Tony Award's coming later this year, by the way.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Jessica, you sounded
corrected.
delighted by that.
I'm excited for the Tony
He
Award.
might win a Tony. Who knows?
Tonys, I mean.
Can you tell me, please, before we go to Greg Cody, what you have for Mike? Because the Shadow Show should be a place to release office gossip. It should be a place just amongst us when the
mystery crate.
when
That
the
is
other.
Mystery Crate, yeah. You guys aren't listening to that.
No, I did,
Please
but
don't
I
listen.
I did listen. but
McDonald's episode?
Well, but Fuentes Brothers,
That was a good one.
Lewis and Kristen are not exactly the company secrets I was looking for.
Well, you know. Well, nobody's here. What do? We can only grab so many bodies, right?
No, but I'm
we have
just saying
Cuatro Gato. We got to put the Cuatro Gato in chairs and have them talk.
I'm just saying there.
Know what I mean, Dan? I got something for Mike. Don't worry about it.
He doesn't know what you mean.
I do, though.
Where are we, Chris? You just ran into the other room. I don't have confidence in this, Chris, because all we need him to do, it's a good joke. He just has to nail the comedic timing of it. We've never had a meeting before where we're practicing with him.
That makes me more nervous. The more we prepare, the more nervous I get. Let's hit the show open and see if he nails it.
All right, let's see what we've got. Let's see what we've got.
I'm nervous.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Yeah. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome. Yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go wild, man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail that Connor McDavid's still overrated, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, the Kachucks gallantly scoring, and the rockets' red glare, the pucks bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our power play was still there. Both say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and Connor Hellebuck's next great save.
Yeah.
He did it.
Look at that.
Doesn't
How
have much
dare
breath
we?
yet, but he's did it.
How dare we underestimate the great and historic singing sports writer, the one and only Greg Cody, who brought song to the radio as a journalist. It has not been done before or since by anybody. It was exclusively his lane. These are the last embers of his career we toy with. A mighty career it has been.
It was almost too clean. I mean, I prefer when he screws it up.
I was shocked. Way too competent. Roy, do you have the sound of Greg Cody coming out at Gramercy? Our first live performance, probably our best live performance, I think. I'm not sure. This was the one where Greg Cody runs out on stage to start our performance, to welcome New York, to salute New York, and Greg Cody just ran right. You didn't run right past the microphone, but you found yourself in a position where you were entirely self-involved. Let's play that sound.
It is B-roll, Dan. There he is, going to the mic.
Okay, don't want you doing play-by-play.
Oh,
of
I
B-roll.
do.
Well, I got no choice because there's no video.
No, that's
audio on
okay.
there.
I thought that you had the audio prepared. That's fine. We'll find the audio later. Greg, welcome.
Thank you.
Turn his microphone on. All right, Roy. Not a great start.
He's got a lot of things going on there, Dan.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it when there's a mistake that isn't my fault.
right.
Thank you, Roy.
How did you feel? Was there too much pressure on all of that? Because you nailed it, I thought. I thought you did very well, but I'm also guilty of perpetually underestimating you,
Sure.
and,
Yeah,
your,
you are.
and your son.
Okay, that's fine. I live with that. I'm a Cody. My dad was always underestimated, but I nailed it because I had practiced. I'm a performer. I mean,
You went rogue with the lyrics. The plan was just kind of to sing it. But yeah, you did it. Had to throw in the overrated thing in there. You had to work
you
that
have
in.
to. It's
I got faked. I thought you were gonna sing "Oh Canada."
That was the bit. Yes.
It was a
Thank
great
you.
bit.
That was
Totally
the
faked
joke.
me out.
Me
That
out,
was
yeah.
the joke.
Oh, can you see?
See, look at that's
I
what
mean,
he's
you can tell he's been
practicing.
practicing.
He's on it
He
today,
did it twice
man.
now.
Wow.
He nailed it.
My
both
pitch
times.
was too high.
Right.
You
Little
know.
pitchy.
If you had to
Yeah.
do it over, you want to
Yeah.
give it a couple of more cracks? You want to?
Yeah.
How could you have done it better? Do you think if you got a couple of cracks?
I
out
would
of
have it wouldn't have gone as high coming out of "Oh Can."
An octave lower maybe would have
Yeah,
helped.
an octave lower. Exactly what I'm talking
Take
about.
two, or what do
Yeah,
you think?
Tony should be a producer. That's exactly the advice I needed.
Do you want to try it again?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I will on demand, but
But you're
Well-
good?
Well, see if right now you can go and get the joke by summoning with great
you mean right here?
enthusiasm. Yeah. Do you need to stand up or anything? Because I was practicing with you and we were talking
Right. Oh, you're
beforehand.
taking the credit now, huh? Practicing with me, yeah. Okay.
Right. Coaching.
You and this guy. He inspired my performance.
I'm not your muse. I'm not saying. I'm simply saying that I was here practicing with you. That's not something we do very often.
Right.
And I was also like going down to the ground to sort of explain to you that this has to be like a throwing your barrel chest into "Oh Canada."
Sure.
You got to give "Oh Can," like you got to
Right.
go. You got to go and
Down and get it.
you got to go down and get it
Yeah,
and
he gets
do
it.
like a squat.
I understand. You're a trained singer.
Squat.
You've had all kind of experience singing. So I certainly appreciate that advice.
You're the legendary singing sports writer, but I wanted you to get more emotion in the feeling of Canada. Look, you were scared. I understand. It's a lot of pressure to sing a song, but this is a big game tonight, and we wanted to meet the moment of patriotism, enthusiasm, countries fighting, 51st state.
Yeah.
Everything is falling apart all around us, and in the middle of it, we're going to boo your anthem.
Right.
And which anthem is it going to be? And are you with America or are you against America right now?
Like
In hockey, who you with? Who you with? Are you with Canada or are you with America? Because we got a big one tonight. It's been a while since an exhibition game matters so much that we're waving the flag around and starting with that instead of what the hell are we doing with Messi playing in negative 7-degree weather? Like, what are we doing to Messi?
That was weird.
What are we doing to the end of his career, putting him in Kansas City running around in negative 7-degree weather to play soccer at the beginning of the MLS?
A big goal. He gutted that one out, Dan. He did it in the cold.
What are we doing?
He nailed it.
What are we doing? Don't make that man do that. That's stupid. All of it. Respect his career, please. He doesn't have to play in that one. The rest of you play in negative 7 degrees. He'll sit that one out. Load management.
They would have lost.
Load management. It's his first game of the year.
Don't do that to the man. He's holding up all of your companies, your league sponsorships, your stadium deals. They're all on his back. He doesn't have to play. I've got a contract clause with all of my partners. I don't play in negative 7.
He defeated the weather. He put a screaming snake inside that left post. What a gorgeous goal.
Yep.
Keeper should have stopped it. The reason he didn't is that they're so worried about him curling one into the upper corner that the goalkeepers are beaten when he swings back his leg.
Who would have thought that Messi would have won a game in Kansas City in negative degree weather before Tua did?
Mm-hmm.
Can a goal be gorgeous and it should have been stopped?
Yes.
Yeah.
How can both those things be possible?
Put it on the poll, please, Juju. Can a goal both be gorgeous and should have been stopped? Because I'm going to say all of that. You can say it's curling and everything. Negative 7 degrees. No one wants to be out there. No one wants to be doing that. Please make it end. I don't care that much about winning at games that I want to be playing out here.
You would agree that's the most impressed you've been with Messi since he's gotten here, right?
I would not say that.
What?
I would say that he needs to not be playing in that game.
Just because you could see his breath? Why
Yes.
was that so impressive?
Cold weather, on the road, big goal. You have to defend the entire net when you're playing against Messi. Greg is right.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea where he's going to put the ball. I mean, you just don't.
If you're going to take the tournament seriously, the CONCACAF Champions Cup, then you have to have Messi play in your first important game of 2025.
Yeah.
Of course he was going to play. Mm-hmm. And he proved that he's better than the weather. Messi. Opponents are petrified of him. I have seen opponents get his autograph before the game started. That's how lord over everyone he does. Crazy.
Greg Cody, you may have noticed, this is some of the things that you notice in your loved ones when you've been with them a long time. When we start out aggressively by summoning the singing sports writer, he comes in here super elevated. Like he is through the roof
Adrenaline.
on smelling his own fumes. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love to sing. I love to. What you just saw, not unlike sort of a Johnny Cash-like character, you saw the egg and the rust break from around the lead singer for Hee Haw 3. The lead singer for Hee Haw 3 has not been allowed to perform. He's been shackled since Las Vegas, and he just had a coming out party, and now he's just revved up. So the last time he was this revved up, I want to just set this up correctly, okay? We've sold tickets to a theater. We're going to do something, and we don't know exactly what we're going to do. And we rehearsed it a couple times, and we got the beginning down, and the rest of it we don't know.
Longest rehearsal
we're
ever.
not going to do. Yes, and nobody, and Stugotz didn't come, and Greg.
I heard it was long though.
And Greg practiced, and this is what happened. He's supposed to come out, and he's just supposed to greet New York with song. Easy winner, right off the top, and he just runs on stage, hears the applause, and gets lost in the smell of his own farts.
Greg Cody.
Easy song to nail.
Sang it 1,000 times.
Woo! Yeah. I just forgot that he had to sing.
Wow.
The crowd is
Just
singing. He
totally,
goes, wow.
yeah, wow! I'm just so happy to be in front of people. Just totally forgot on. You can hear. It's New York, New York. It's the easiest thing. We all know when to start singing.
The crowd started singing.
Yes, waiting for a song. How?
Wow.
Play that for me again, just so that I can sink deeply into.
Please don't.
Where it is. I just want you. It's Greg staring at the crowd at the applause and just forgetting that song was even in the background because this beautiful music was so much better. The applause was better music than whatever he was going to do.
Greg, Cody.
Look at that outfit.
It's fantastic. Bright yellow, my friend.
Wow.
Everyone's singing but Greg.
We had to start over. We had to do it again. We sent him back and had to do the whole thing again.
The wow, right on his cue. Wow.
How come Dan takes all the credit when you nail it, but then when you screw it up, none of the blame?
Thank you. That's exactly right. You gave me no prep whatsoever.
We rehearsed it
for 7 hours.
In fairness to me, I did not take rehearsals as seriously as I should have.
Right.
Miller Lite.
Same here.
Well, no, not Miller Lite. If I remember correctly, there were like big giant boxes of donuts off to the side. So I was like
distraction.
I was like sugar rushing. And,
right.
You know, it was.
You want me to focus on the task at hand? Don't bring donuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, there was no. What do you call the teleprompter? I don't recall there being a teleprompter.
Right.
It's a song. You're the legendary singing sports writer.
Yeah. Well, I missed my cue. The audience threw me off as well. The audience distracted me by singing before I began singing.
Greg has the opposite of a writer.
No.
You can't let any donuts near him. No people watching him. Like certain things are just going to distract him. You got to get them away from Greg when he's going on stage.
Keep those donuts away from me.
Greg, I love you. They sang when they were supposed to start singing.
That's correct. When you were supposed to start singing.
Yeah, but there was no a director in the wings. Over
All
in
right,
the wings.
it was
I'm
our
using a
fault.
term.
Okay.
A director should have gone like this.
Okay, we were doing that, and you were going, wow. Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. If you want to focus on the task at hand, can there be donuts there? Yes or no? Chris Cody, where did we land? Let's find out what Jessica and Tony think of how much juice Chris Cody is going to actually be able to get out of those oranges when he says that you can't get that much juice out of oranges. And Billy says it'll take 8 of those to make a glass, and he's alleging that he can make 3 glasses of orange juice with that number of oranges.
3 glasses? No. When I bake and I need orange juice, like freshly squeezed orange juice, usually as a rule of thumb, 1 orange is around a half cup or so. Mm-hmm. So if he has 3 oranges, that's like a decent amount of juice. It depends how big the glass is, though. If it's a little juice glass, that's one thing. But he's got a big water glass over there.
Mm-hmm. I think the issue, too, is when you go to Cuban bakeries, Dan, they have the machine that slices them, that puts the thing in, and
it gets every last drop out of it.
Yes, because it has like almost like a bullet inside where it like revs it.
I love those things.
Those things are amazing. Like I can just sit there while I'm ordering cafecito or whatever, just watch him cut it and do. I don't think Chris has the power in his hands or in the knife.
But this is why we brought it up, because
excavate it
yesterday he was squeezing his man chest together. He was squeezing. He was doing
What
a
did I
lot
miss?
of exercises.
I was just like, I could do this. And I did this move. Of
Yeah.
like,
Okay. Am I allowed to give him a pro tip? Can I give him a pro tip?
Of course.
You gotta, before you cut into it and start squeezing, you gotta really massage those oranges.
He's right.
I've been
You gotta
working these
knead them,
days.
roll them back and forth,
Yep.
knead them, massage them.
Or put in microwave. You can like blast them in the microwave for a few seconds. Apparently, if you warm them up in the like a lime or something, it helps the juices release.
I've heard that. I've never tried it though. Does it really work?
I don't know. I've never tried it either.
Okay.
Is that cheating, though? I mean,
Why don't you sit on it?
Sit on it.
Warm it up with your buns.
When are you doing this? Are you doing it now?
Yeah, I can start now. We'll see how we do here.
That's messy. It's going to leave a lot of stickiness. That
Little
seems like an
messy.
unpleasant
No, that's
place
Chris
to
Cody.
do
He
it.
needs a
There
way
it is.
bigger container to get the juice in because that little cup is not going to work. No, that's not going to work, buddy.
Billy is not going to find any of this pleasant to have
Actually,
like
do it. No,
orange
my bad. Do
residue
it.
in his
Do it.
workspace. Yeah, this isn't going to go well.
Well, Billy sabotaged me the other day, so why don't we sabotage him back? We put a little sticky. All of a sudden,
Right.
he goes to sit there tomorrow. He gets stuck. He can't move his hands.
When did Billy sabotage you?
Remember when the mic fell
Last
down?
week, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to grab the mic and it exploded in my hand.
unscrewed it.
Billy
Yeah.
took out a screw, yeah.
Classic Billy. Can you tell us, Chris, when you're going to start, please?
I am waiting on a bigger bowl based off Tony's recommendation, and I will get going very shortly, Dan. I'm excited.
Put
I'm
on
going
the
to do this.
oranges to start.
No paper towels.
I've been
huh?
rubbing these down like baseballs for like a half hour,
Yeah.
so we're good to go.
You've
Do
been
more than
juggling
rub them.
them, right?
That's why I'm-
Rubbing it doesn't help.
I
You're
didn't
gonna need it.
I didn't
Yes.
honestly plan on doing the juice today. I'm just back row Chris again, so I thought I'd juggle a little bit.
Well, but now,
Right, I
but
got
it
it.
seems like you're cheating. Once you go down the path of microwaves and kneading and rolling around oranges, and Jessica, you want to go out in the street and see if you can throw one of those 100 yards?
I don't know. I can throw one of these 100 yards. These are big oranges.
huge oranges.
Big. Remember when I brought sumo citrus?
Yeah.
Have you ever had one of those? Can you have oranges, Dan?
No, I cannot.
Why not?
No.
What's in oranges that you can't
Too
have?
I was
bad.
gonna tell you-
Vitamin C.
I thought we were gonna bond
Flavor?
over sumo citrus, but never mind. It's fine. Me and Tony will
My
just bond
wife
over it
my
back
wife
here.
loves those oranges and says they're the best oranges that there have ever been. These
They're
giant
the best
oranges. Yes.
Oh, they're only in season like this time of year in the winter. You could just rip the top off. You could just like rip it off, and then they peel really easily, and they have no seeds. Delicious.
I would say that once upon a time, I don't know if this is still so, but Florida was famous for being able to produce those kinds of oranges. Just oranges like that.
Wait a second. This is a sad day. We're not anymore.
I still think we are.
I don't know if people still associate Florida with oranges.
Yeah,
do they?
Yeah. Number 2 orange producing state after Cali.
Wow.
At Le Batard Show, do people still associate Florida with oranges?
It's on
Yes
the
or no?
license plate.
I mean,
Unless you have one of the cool fish license plates.
oh yeah, don't tread on me, license plates or something. Dan, seriously, like you can't eat citrus. Like, what can you eat?
Well, you guys were making fun of me about this last week, so let's talk about it because a lot of people think that I was lying about this. So let me explain something to you. I have seen some athletes do some of this. Like once upon a time, there was a nutritionist. I don't know if she's still doing it, Sari Melman, and the way that she would do athlete diets is they would test a variety of foods to see what their blood allergies mixed with and didn't. And so you'd have professional football players like eating for a day nothing but garbanzo beans to test garbanzo beans, and then they get on a scale. If you lose weight or gain weight, you can tell whether your body is agreeable with these things.
Like
So-
blood clarity?
So I just did a bunch of blood allergy testing, and you guys didn't believe me either when I said I don't fart around my wife. Unless I've eaten the wrong ingredients, my body will simply tell me what it'll just reject it, and then I'll start farting because I'm allergic to 1,000 different things that I can't have, everything from paprika to garlic. So I have to be careful with what the ingredients are, and I'm testing things like salt every day, and that's what you have that day in order to test whether or not you can have salt.
But if you have it, you'll fart.
If I have it and it doesn't fit with my body, yes, whether
I would
it's
just fart, I
broccoli
think.
or kale.
There have been some bad days for your wife, huh?
Yes, agreed. I've learned recently that I'm a sleep farter. I didn't know that because I'm a sleep farter.
So you are literally unable to season your food.
Well, no, I can do it with the things that agree with me. It can't be paprika and garlic, but it can be an assortment of other things,
This
whether it's
explains the
ginger or
popcorn.
turmeric. Yes. So now I've bored you to death with all of these details. Nothing less interesting than someone's diet, but I'm not lying to you about the fact that every ingredient you guys were having with those chefs are something that I cannot have. And you are doing something maddening when you're eating it in front of me and only describing that the only thing I can have was mango and every ingredient you guys gave when those people were here. Mango and protein.
Mango Publishing. Pride of a Lion.
Wow.
Prominently displayed at Books
Well
and Books
done.
in Coconut Grove,
Yeah.
by the way.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, McGill, by the way, called me the other day with great news. McGill has been enlisted by by Books and Books and their wonderful owner, Mitch Kaplan. Mitch Kaplan bought thousands of Pride of a Lion books in order to give them away for free when Ron McGill makes tours of schools and other events, and so that's a big deal. When you mentioned garbanzo beans,
Did you run out of thought there? You just wanted to do the promotion. You wanted
Yeah,
to throw it
it's
in
a
there.
nice
You
thing.
didn't. You
It
didn't
is a
have
nice
but
thing.
you didn't
Yeah,
have a
it's a
segue of
free
thought.
books for
It wasn't
schools. I
even.
mean,
You weren't
right.
thinking about the audience or content creation
Right.
there at all. You
Sure.
were simply thinking about how to promote this thing that
Yeah,
you wanted to talk about,
exactly.
and then didn't have something else that you wanted to
nailed
talk
it.
about.
You nailed it.
You read it correctly.
unabashedly.
Yep. Yes.
What about segues?
Wasn't
What
trying
am
to
I-
hide it. I mean,
Well, he was trying to hide it. The point when
well,
you
he's trying to fill time for
but
you.
what-
I
no,
right.
but
Being a
see,
good
no,
teammate.
that's what. No,
you brought up mangoes.
No. It wasn't being a good teammate. No.
You brought up mangoes, not me.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
No, you brought up Mango Publishing because the only joke you have now, because you're Kornheiser, is somebody says a word and you associate it to another word, and it's Tourette's of not funny.
I know. You used the word maddening earlier, and I couldn't sneak in John Maddening.
Right.
It really killed me.
But
Not
you
to be
snuck
able
in
to-
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi, yeah, I sure did. But I do want to mention real quickly, because this is the truth. You mentioned garbanzo beans. Ricky Williams, when he played for the Dolphins, I remember going into the locker room once after a practice, and he is an evangelist for garbanzo beans. He went through a phase where that was about all he ate. And he had like a jar of them. And
There were several athletes doing this particular diet that I did not understand how they were fueling themselves on these ridiculous
Right.
things, but it's because they were trying to eat in accordance with their blood type.
Yeah,
and,
weird.
Okay.
Yeah, weird.
Ricky's
Agreed.
body, though, did things yours couldn't.
All right. Mine does things he can't.
Yep.
Well, like what? Go
I
ahead. Let's
can't
hear.
think of it,
Let's hear about.
Top five.
Let's go ahead. Let's go. Let's hear about all of
Processed
it.
garbanzo beans for one.
Yeah, one of the few beans I hate, by the way, garbanzo beans. They're mealy.
What? Oh, I
hate
love them,
I hate
Greg.
the texture.
They're
Do you
great.
like hummus?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh,
Wow.
can't stand
I
it.
do not.
No.
But hummus isn't as good without garlic,
No.
unfortunately. At Le Batard Show, can you put it on the poll, please? Garbanzo beans. Do you like them or do you not like them? They're great. What's
mealy.
wrong with garbanzo beans? I can only have like a couple of kinds of beans: pinto beans and kidney beans.
Off-putting texture.
Is it?
Yeah.
Put it on the poll as well at Le Batard Show. Does the garbanzo bean have an off-putting texture? And what are the other foods here that you're willing to, downgrade in classification because the texture is a bother? Because that's part of taste and eating. Jessica is just mouthing back there. I love everything. I'll eat anything. I don't care what the texture is. Just give me taste.
I really I won't say no.
So nothing. You will find no texture
Put
off.
it in a funnel and I'll just devour it. Don't care. Lehman actually went to the Keys this weekend.
Dude, I saw the reel.
He caught
did an
two
incredible
blackfin
job.
tunas
Yeah.
and 5 snappers. We've been eating fish all week. He made tuna tataki the other night. It was delicious. Fresh fish. Oh, I'm such a lucky lady. But yeah, basically, he'll go to the store, get whatever, whip something up, doesn't even tell me what it is, and I like all of it. I eat all of it. I'm very, very lucky in that sense.
Wow.
I still want to know what my dad's body can do that Ricky's can't.
Yep. Name one.
Like survive on 1 glass of water a week.
I can't. I'm not going to take a quiz. I mean, I can come up with a top 5 list.
All right, we'll wait for it. That would be the definition of taking a quiz, though. But we'll wait for it. That's fine. Let's
answering the questions.
Let's do that. You're giving us your top 5. We'll do this, shall we? Okay.
I mean,
Yes,
eventually,
please.
I got to come up
We
with
will
it.
start from the bottom. I'll give you some time as filler. You may have heard because I don't know if Florida's fresh fish is better than other parts of Middle America where you might not be able to get the freshness of fish that you get here off of our coast because it has to be shipped in or whatever. But Jessica's mouth watered thinking about a Key West caught fresh fish, and it made me think of Joe Rose.
That's good. Big juicy cheeseburgers, a Philly chicken. That's good. Onions. Mushrooms. It's good. Excuse me, can I have a side order of... Can I get some blue cheese with it? I like to dip my thick in that blue cheese they have there. Hey, you want some pasta and seafood dishes with fresh fish?
The water, you can hear it on fresh fish in his
good.
mouth.
So good.
It's the fresh fish.
Yeah. There is nothing like a thick...
All right, that's enough.
The big dog.
Dan needs some more in his life.
I think it needs more.
Put it on the poll.
You're missing that, aren't you?
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Does Dan need more in his life?
How do you spell that?
I'll have what he's having.
But you hear, what you hear, okay, Joe Rose, bit of a Neanderthal. What?
Whoa.
It's a mean thing to say.
You're talking about the greatest live
Yes.
leader of all time.
He would acknowledge
I
it.
mean, we all
yes.
have a little bit of
Wait a
Neanderthal in us, I think, technically.
Yeah.
And he's
Because
still getting it done.
Homo sapiens
Yes,
Yes.
wait a
did it
minute.
with the
Wait a
Neanderthals.
minute. Wait a minute. Maybe he'd disagree with this. I don't think that he would.
He would.
The most primal of creatures, if presented with something delicious when they're hungry, their mouth will water. Like whatever that creature is, whether it's a Joe Rose Big Dog or Jessica, who doesn't care about the texture of things, if something delicious is posed to you and you're hungry, it will be a mouth-watering situation, caveman or not, but cavemen are going to be particularly primal here when he's just talking about all of these foods. It's making him hungry, and by the time fresh fish gets to his lips, his mouth is filled with water.
I mean, sprinkle in the fact that he's getting $50 per read. I mean,
that'll make anybody's mouth water.
That'll get you there. I mean,
is it still $50? It's got to be more than that by now, doesn't it? Is it still?
I think it's going the other way, Dan.
Do you?
Sure.
I don't actually know. I don't know. What do you imagine right now in radio a live read goes for? What do you imagine somebody in AM radio today doing a live read? I'd like to know, what do you imagine each live read is being paid? It's got to be more than $50, doesn't it?
I mean, the standard was $25. I gave Joe Rose $50 because, you know, he had me.
But that was 20 years ago.
I know, so I'm thinking radio is dying a slow death, and it's going the other way on Joe Rose.
I think at this point, the host is paying the advertiser in order to do.
Can you guys call Zaslow and ask him? Somebody get me modern radio fees. Yes,
I'm on it.
You guys make fun of a dying medium, but it still represents about 75% of how people consume audio, although podcasts are the new thing and the new intimacy. There's still a lot of value in having value on radio, and I think you're vastly underestimating what those things pay, even if it's a dying medium, which it is.
So you think Lenny, Chippy, all the guys that air around the clock, they're paying him $100 per read? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
You might be right. I'm not saying
50. It seems that inflation's prices, that $50 a read 20 years ago is probably not what it is today, but I don't know. I've never made any money from the reads. This is your department.
But inflation's going up, but wages are not. So the inflation's actually going the other way. It's costing employees.
That is correct. And so I actually don't know. I don't know enough about the radio business. I was talking about this with somebody just this morning, just because we were talking about Saturday Night Live and how disrespectful I find it. And you're allowed to find funny or not funny, whatever. Obviously, you find funny or not funny. But just the marvel today of being able to celebrate 50 years on television and have it be respected universally is not something the Internet's going to give you, because we're in cruel instant satisfaction times, and the expectation of funny is a burden. So their brand has been funny for 50 years. But I'm marveling as well in a podcast business that sucks, that this thing we have has lasted 20 years and has evolved into the new media intimacy somehow without dying, because the podcast connection is the stickiest of all of the connections. And radio used to be that. I grow up appreciating the intimacy with just great gratitude of the idea of people welcoming you into their cars with their kids in the back, so that now we're meeting 30-year-olds who were handed down the show from their parents, and they're still young people. And they remember, Dad remembers the singing sports writer back when he was starring at ESPN Radio. The old legend, the old mule, Greg Cody, reinventing song on AM radio. Yeah. And eventually 5 songs in, just making every song row, row, row your boat.
Yes, I love it. Yeah.
Wow.
I could do a row, row, row your boat.
Do it into the mic.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are you sitting back?
Because he's just, Tone.
Reclining
Christ,
over here,
man.
Tone. It's
I
the
would be in a
Tone,
recliner right now if they had one for me.
Tone, let me explain to you what just happened there, lest you be a bit of a novice around Abuelo. He was so delighted we were just talking about him that he just leaned into it and forgets that he's doing the show. Yep. His narcissism is a monument to behold. It'll always sneak up on me, and it's always funny. He forgets he's doing the show, and he's just like, you're talking about me, and it's the best thing. It's the greatest of the things.
Well, it is.
Quit perpetuating that I'm a narcissist.
My dad got recognized last night at bowling, and he was bragging to me. He's like, that guy recognized me for writing, not for this podcasting thing you guys do.
First of all, you asked me. I wasn't bragging about it, but that is, I cannot tell you what a rarity that is. It happened to me once when we were at the Final Four a few years ago. where when somebody comes up to me and recognizes me, and the first thing they start talking about is my columns in the Herald,
Right.
it's like flabbergasting.
Yes.
It's like I've won the lottery.
Of course.
You know,
right.
because it does happen occasionally, but
They're always
but not often.
super old.
No, but Greg wants to be remembered for his writing, not for what it is he does here, correct? I mean, of course. That's natural.
I want to be remembered for a combo of everything, for having had the versatility to basically segue into a whole different career in a way that
Segue.
not everyone has.
We're talking about you again.
Yeah, well, you know, it's what better subject?
Greg, my grandma started watching the show on YouTube, and she told me that she's really unhappy with the way Dan treats you. She called you the old man.
Okay.
And that she doesn't understand why you put up with him.
He's been getting that for many years,
Yes,
right?
I have.
He's a staunch and loyal friend, and everybody knows that by now.
That's what
around
I told
here,
my
correct?
grandma. He's a staunch and loyal friend. No,
Right.
I actually was like, I don't know either, Grandma. It's crazy, right?
Well, what is the explanation? Since we're celebrating Greg Cody, lean back into your chair and just do this as maximum relaxed as you like. Just
You can lean back, just pull the mic
Talking about
with
you, Greg.
Oh, right.
Let's talk
Keep
about
thinking-
let's
okay.
talk about your career as the singing sports writer. Just
Right.
lean into it. Please tell us about what this lovely ride has been. You outlasted Jimmy Buffett. You were hoping your last song here would be him singing it to you here, and
Yeah.
that you would then die on air after
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett sang you a song about your career.
Right.
That's
Beat
what-
you to the punch.
But you,
I
that's
mean,
right.
yeah.
He's gone now, and you're still here. So I don't know how we're going to do it. Do you give us permission to broadcast live from your funeral?
The Greg Cody Show has already signed a contract for that. I'm sorry. You can get the after party, but the funeral itself
Right.
is going to be in my podcast.
We could do pregame. I mean,
We'll do
Yeah,
it on-
I can't prevent it. I
Let's
mean,
do it on a Monday so that you can get all the clicks. A federal holiday where we don't have a show, so
Right.
you can get all
Yeah.
of the clicks.
yeah, I'm going to send save the date notices for my funeral as soon as I decide the end game.
I was talking in Canada with Mike about how my dad's funeral is going to be the most inside jokes of any funeral ever. Like Brad's and that kind of things. Like
Nobody knows what that means.
That's why.
That's what I mean. Like there are going to be so many random references that people are going to be so confused.
Somebody's going to be eulogizing, and I'm going to shout from the back row, swipe.
it's going to be some party. I mean,
I want somebody at my funeral, and I volunteer Michael to do this because he does a great imitation
Your
of
youngest son.
my youngest son.
Not really.
For those who don't listen to the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody and aren't as self-involved as our host, who thinks you all know what his youngest son's name is.
Well, Michael is a regular, semi-regular on the Greg Cody
and
Show.
never been on here or mentioned either.
Right. Well, I mention him whenever I can.
Right.
But I want Michael, apropos of nothing at my funeral, to all of a sudden say, "Storm NFL."
So
Now,
inside, Dad.
to-
So inside.
To explain that, our
Yes,
bo-
please.
That is Karen, the bowling lady.
Right.
She announces at bowling, she'll just go, Storm NFL.
Yeah,
That's
in that
the league
voice.
name.
I'm in the middle of my bowling a 300 game. I'm in the middle of my backswing, and I hear "Storm NFL." It's like so disconcerting.
Why would he do that at your funeral?
Because it's fun. It's funny.
But you won't be able to hear it.
Yeah,
Chris
but
will just
I-
be standing there like, what?
I'll be laughing in my coffin.
right.
Are you kidding me?
Be coughing in your coffin.
Exactly. That's
After
it.
he's dead.
I'll be knocking, trying to get out. Are you kidding me?
That'd be a bad way to go.
Tony, you just saw, like, whatever it is, okay, that life will become for young people with abuelos. Greg Cody just sinking into just chatting with his son about wait till you see what Michael does at my funeral, and then starts laughing at the telling of the joke that only Chris gets.
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't mean to spoil the surprise.
He's
either.
no longer doing stuff for the audience. Like, when you go to his self-involvement, there's nothing else there. It's just him looking at his stuff, gazing, fascinated at, like,
He is so pleased right now.
He's
Adam
just,
Gazing.
Yeah.
Adam Gaze, great coach, underrated.
Yeah.
I think properly rated.
He's
not
not
a great
underrated.
coach.
You
You didn't
ran
have
him out of
anything
town.
else. No,
Yes.
he just liked his Adam Gase joke so much that it didn't matter what his analysis was after that,
But
because he
his-
knows he's not a great coach.
His introductory press conference with the Jets, though, was epic.
The eyes.
Yeah,
It was. It was the
just-
worst, though.
That's what made it so wonderful. It's memorable. That's going to be on his epitaph.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
That's a little
right.
spooky.
Yeah, right. He did.
They always are.
Sirianni's too.
Every Duval I've heard is spooky. None of them. It's not creepy. It's spooky. It's also creepy, but it's spooky. It's haunting. The Jags are run by a ghost. Somebody who his introductory press conference was somebody who I now associate with an element of haunting.
Pasty white too. He's like a ghoul of some sort.
Haunting white.
Yeah.
Jacksonville fans need to get a new bit. Okay, I want to speak directly to Jacksonville sports fans.
Good.
Nobody cares what county you live in. Okay, when you go to an Inter Miami game,
Wade County.
No,
Yeah,
Wade
but no one
County.
cares.
Nobody cares. You don't hear anybody chanting.
Doesn't matter. Right.
Broward.
Oh, nobody likes Broward. That's why.
Okay,
Well, nobody cares what county. They care what city you live in. or
Liam
what
Cohen
state.
cares. Let's hear from him.
That's what this is about. Jacksonville, the community. Duval.
I'm convinced he thinks he nails that. He thinks he crushes that.
He did crush it.
No, he was mocked for weeks.
No.
Duval.
Collier.
Duval.
St. Lucie.
Duval.
Osceola.
Duval.
Polk.
Duval.
Flagler.
Duval.
Braver.
Duval.
That really can't be rivaled. I'm talking about really like intricate shit, man. In many ways, musical led the cultural change in the 1930s, which was considered to be the golden age of musicals. Had those supremely talented artists not pushed boundaries and helped shape the new American pathos back then, I don't know if I'd be here right now today, standing in front of you. No cap, like no capadonna. Musicals had the capability to make you feel ways that you never thought possible. Even if you might find the subject matter mundane going into it, by the end of the experience, you might find yourself spiritually enlightened through the magic of song and an occasional exposition to advance the story. Matter of fact, I'm feeling ways about football right now I could never dream prior to. I think I'm about to have a moment, my brother. Way down in the jungle deep, a lion bit a Viking on his motherfucking knee. It began in 1869, I see you, Mojo, with a match between the Princeton Tigers and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Then in 1880, along came a man named Walter Camp, the father of American football, the Waltster. Wham, as they called him. He established the snap, the line of scrimmage, 11-player teams, and the concept of downs. The gladiator spectacle. Though the game has evolved over time, at the heart of it, the game of football is just a primal means to tell the age-old story of the triumph of the human spirit. Can you and your teammates overcome the brutal battery of physical and emotional trials over the course of a savagely cruel 18-week regular season, brother? And what be your reward for such a merciless gauntlet? A thrilling single elimination tournament that pushes the peak male form to high water marks year after year against the game's very best. All with the hope that you and your brothers in combat can rise above all others in one unified voice. Declare yourselves champion. That is why, with every fiber of our being, we love the playoffs.
When the best play, trenches face to face, sacrifice life and live for the Lombardi. If there's a way, Stanford turns it all around. It would have to be LA, it would have to be McVay. What'd you say? Tom Brady, always down. Could he turn it all around now? Turn it all around now. Wipes the blood from his lip. Holy shit, he's gonna do it all again, do it all again. It's time for the playoffs. So grab a beer, I hope it's Miller Lite. It's time for the playoffs. The playoffs. It's time for the good stuff. Where every game comes down to guys who kick. It's time for the playoffs. The playoffs. The playoffs.
Ah, the playoffs. Hot goalies, playoff beards, and Lord Stanley.
No, Roy, I'm not talking about ice hockey. I'm talking about the NFL playoffs. The gridiron. Win or go home. The ultimate postseason tournament. Here, let me show you. Big Ben's last game. Kyler's feeling shame. Upsets in Green Bay and in Tennessee. There's just no way Prescott's going to the ground. He slid 1 second too late, and they don't have a timeout. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Arrowhead, become personal playgrounds. Too much time, 13 ticks. Holy shit, he's gonna do it all again, do it all again. It's time for the playoffs. So grab a beer, I hope it's Miller Lite. It's time for the playoffs. The playoffs. It's time for the good stuff. Where every game comes down to guys who kick. It's time for the playoffs. The playoffs. The The playoffs sometimes mean having to say goodbye, even if you're
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is sponsored by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Roy, I still don't feel like your confidence is where it needs to be on those reads. There's something pressurized about those reads that makes Chris Cody quiver a little bit. And,
he's quivering back there?
DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Wow. Easier back there. Yeah.
I am back here, baby.
I love the back he's row. Good. I'm working on mine.
Man, I miss this row. How you guys doing back here?
We missed you.
We love it.
How is the orange stuff going? Can we get Billy Gill? Are we? I know he's off.
It's going terrible. The first month of this administration's been a disaster.
The glass experiment that we're doing there has how many oranges in it?
This is 3 large oranges. I think they were I was trying to like take a victory lap here, and they're like, "Hey, listen, you got huge oranges there." It's like, I mean, I can't control the oranges I'm given.
That's also not a lot of juice. Like for the work you just
under
put in,
half a glass.
It's half a glass, and if we got Billy in off of his day off to make a ruling, he's alleging that the juice isn't worth the squeeze. That if you squeeze these oranges, what you're getting isn't very much. And right now, from what I see, despite all your bragging, that's not very much orange juice.
And the YouTube audience was telling me that I was doing it very inefficiently. I basically cut it in half and just squeezed. They were saying if I broke it down into quarters, I could have got way more juice. So I think This is a large glass here, guys. Like, if you were
Right.
at a restaurant, you're not getting much more orange juice than this when you order a glass
You're
of orange
getting
juice.
a full glass.
You guys
What
don't
do you
ever
mean?
get these like little glasses of orange juice sometimes.
I would be insulted if they gave me this and I said, "Hey, let me get a glass of orange juice," and they hand me this.
Well, they would.
I would be like,
They would put it in like a juice glass or a highball glass.
It would be in a smaller glass. Is my point.
Fill it up to the top.
Okay.
Let's
It's not a juice glass.
Let's get
I am having an American breakfast though. Some OJ squeezed and some bacon. Some American bacon. Hey Canada, get out of here with your ham. Okay, that's not bacon. This is bacon.
Yes. Enjoy that bacon.
I will.
love
You want
bacon.
some, Dad?
I would love some bacon.
I'm gonna bring my dad some bacon. Some
Could
American
you?
bacon.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
3-4 slices would be great. Extra crisp. When you hold a piece of bacon at the end, it has to
the best.
It has to be straight. If it
Right.
droops, it's not cooked properly.
Greg, you know what happened to me this morning? I took out a piece of bacon and it was stuck to another piece of bacon.
Well, I saw this. I
Oh,
saw
yeah,
this.
I like that.
Look,
You
let
lucky
me.
bastard.
Okay,
Thank you.
let me explain to you
Perfectly
what
cooked
happened this
bacon.
morning because it was amazing to witness this particular protein gluttony and shared communion between slobs that Chris Cody and Stugotz had in a silent moment. As Stugotz is wont to do with our community breakfast, he sticks his hand right beyond the tongs and just pulls the bacon out of a tin. He holds it while it drips grease in front of Chris Cody's nose, and Chris Cody gave him a double thumbs up, and they had the celebration of Stugotz's sausage fingers, sausage and bacon in the sky. Disgusting, no plate, no napkin, nothing that would indicate that he cares at all that oils will soon be on his fingers, pants, and floor.
Right, the way bacon was intended to be eaten. I mean, thank you. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Hey, Canada, your ham's not bacon. Yes or no? This game tonight, please give me some context for caring about an exhibition because patriotism is involved. It has much of nothing to do with the Olympics or actual stakes, right? They're invented stakes. They're
Right.
not, they're totally contrived.
He's eating bacon. I mean,
What, Joe Rose can make
right.
SMRS on the air, and I can't?
I have an update on the big dog, by the way. He's getting $50 per live read. Yes.
We get my dad not giving a take as close to the microphone as he could possibly be. Then when he's giving a take, he's leaning back.
SMRS is what
He's right.
With
He's right.
confidence.
He's right. He's
Yeah.
right.
With
Believe
confidence.
me.
Isn't that a thing?
Right.
Yep.
It is.
Thank you.
It's your thing now.
Extra good bacon.
It's very good bacon.
Shout out to Uncle Dick.
What?
Why?
All right, I've had enough of this. I can't deal with
He likes bacon
no,
more than anybody I know.
Tony, he's
put salt on
Tony,
his bacon.
Shout out to Uncle
Tony,
Dick.
he's full bloom narcissism. I got to get out. I got to get him out of here in order to just get our shit together.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes. Spreading propaganda.
I don't even know what I hit there. I thought
That's a fine.
I thought that was the me maximum. I don't see the me maximum out. It's not
salts
on
his
here
bacon?
anymore. Get out of here.
Uncle Dick salts his bacon?
Just get out of
Yeah.
here.
That would kill Dan Le Batard.
Just get out of here.
bacon's
No,
already salty.
Believe it or not, I can have pork.
Really?
I can have
salted?
garlic.
Salt?
Salted
I
pork,
can have
though?
salt. I can have salt.
Wow.
I can have
Nice.
proteins.
So
yes.
you can't have garlic or fart. Those are like two of the greatest gifts that the human body can experience.
No, I can fart. It's just if I fart, it means I've eaten something I shouldn't have eaten. I can
Well,
fart.
same for me, right?
What do you?
But
What do
he's
you?
doing it?
What do
He
you?
could fart in his sleep. I mean,
What do you have me doing? You have me muffling a lifetime of farts. I can fart. You have me with an inability to fart.
I just have you not fully experiencing and enjoying.
It's almost like he
the
doesn't
human
like
body.
farting, right? Like
Yeah.
I think that's the issue.
He's
You
trying
don't
to
like
prevent
farting.
himself
I think
from
everybody else
farting.
likes it.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. I'm not. I'm trying to not screw up my digestive tract in a way that poisons
Wait
me.
a second. Wait,
farts
wait,
do
wait.
that? Come on,
Wait.
man.
But if you eat the correct foods, will you ever fart?
No, that's what I'm saying.
What a misery. I mean, seriously. Everyone has to fart, Dad. Farting feels good.
Feels great.
Yeah.
Okay, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you like to fart? Yes or no?
Who doesn't?
Okay, I just want to see. I want to see what the. I don't. It's not going to come back 100%, right? It never has. Never in the history of the show has it come back 100%. What do you think the answer is going to be? You think everyone's going to say yes? That we're going to get a resounding 80 or 90%. Do you like to fart?
What if we also ask, is farting worth the cost of eating garlic?
Ooh.
Because that's definitely a hundo.
There's got to be a pro to this, right? Because it's farting. That's a buildup of gases. I mean, you're not feeling bloated, are you?
I am not, but I will tell you that all of this started. I don't want to bore you guys with all of this, but I'm doing acupuncture 3 times a week. Stugotz is still making fun of me for how I'm getting my blood tested. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm doing an assortment of things that, and this is darker than I meant to go here, but the way that my body inflated, absorbing everything that was happening around my brother's deathbed had nothing to do with eating. I gained 50 pounds of weight that were just whatever that is.
Stress.
Shooting up the cortisol into my body. My eating didn't change at all, and then I look up one day and I'm 290 pounds, and I haven't changed my eating. It was just all sitting by that bed for 10 months. So I'm trying to do whatever I have to do through whatever holistic medicines I can to get rid of those sort of cortisol inflations. And it involves me giving blood every 2 months in a back alley behind my house, which Stugotz thinks is uproariously funny and wasn't quite quick enough yesterday to make fun of me until the microphones were off, but then had an avalanche for me. So what do you have on this front? Because I talked to the blood woman who comes by, and I'm saying we're going to have to.
Vampire?
She's
Melinda, blood woman.
Melinda, that's
First
a
name
great
basis, yeah, perfect name.
Blood,
Yes.
she would have been burned at the stake 200 years ago for being a blood woman.
Well, I call her the blood fairy, actually, and that would have happened 200 years ago as well. Yes, we have a number of things in play here that are in a back alley that caused me. If someone saw it happening, if someone photographed me doing it, they would think I was doing heroin in the back of a Suburban with somebody who was administering it clinically. So I was getting, like, it's even, Mike, get my heroin, that I can't do it for myself, that I need somebody else. And so we need to talk to her because I want you guys to understand just how dirty an alley this is.
Right.
Like, what I'm doing here is something that to anyone going by would look vaguely unclean because of where it's being done.
So I'm familiar with those alleys down on South Beach. That was one of my questions. Like, you're doing this in a very uncleanly place.
That's correct, but the back of her car is plenty clean, and if someone photographs me, it'll be in the tabloid.
Because she's blood woman.
That's right.
Stugotz's cigarette butts from 20 years ago are still in that alley.
Littered, yes. So she comes in a car?
A big car, yes, a Suburban.
Like, who is she with? Is
It's
she with
just
the Red
her.
Cross?
It's just her.
She just collects blood?
The Red Cross?
Yeah, I mean, it's a like, what are you giving blood for?
To get my blood tested so that I can do the proper things daily to not pollute my body with things that they shouldn't be polluted
But Dan,
with.
you're like Lance Armstrong. You're like blood doping. Like, what's going on here?
I am trying to stay alive and healthy so that we can have
like
a
that
company that functions.
You're telling us this in like the sort of like the way you're saying it is like, duh, you guys don't do that too.
You guys don't blood dope?
Melinda doesn't come to your back alley?
I know you guys are not doing acupuncture 3 times a week. But
no, our insurance does not cover that.
Yeah, neither does mine. And I will tell you that with all, I mean, look, I can get in my way in terms of the mysticisms with my cynicism, but it's working. Like, everything that I'm doing that these people are putting me through is something that is making me feel physically in a way that is different from any way I've ever felt in my life. So we will mock it, and it is a funny way. I wouldn't go to these lengths on allergies and food. I like eating. You've seen all my inflated life on television. I'm a fat pioneer. Look, I ate so that Windhorse could gorge. I'm a pioneer on fat men on television.
Yeah, you are.
Wow.
So I like to eat. I was affiliated with nachos as word association for about 10 years of my life.
You were the guy that came over to my dad's house and made nachos.
That's right.
Oh, you'd go right into the fridge, get out some chips, get out some salsa, and go to town.
Honestly,
baby.
never looked up to you more. I was just like, I need that one day where I could just go to my friend's house and just make nacho. And I have it now, and it's freaking awesome.
Joey's?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I don't think that Greg Cody has ever given me a greater gift than being able to go to his house and just make nachos.
You guys would play Pac-Man?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that machine, I need to get it fixed. Damn it.
What's going on?
That's the least surprising thing in the world, that he would have a
Also least interesting.
1980s video game that doesn't work in his house. Not
Gotta
surprising
get that
at all.
fixed.
Yeah.
How long has it been broken, Greg?
It's been broken for years. Like 2 or 3
Not
years,
surprising.
probably.
Not
I need
surprising.
if anybody out there knows somebody who fixes.
Great. That's the way to do it. Sure.
Arcade
Use
games.
use our show for that.
Reach out to me.
Good use of the content
Yeah.
space. Way to respect the platform.
Michael has the high score, by the way. I think I'm second.
Where's the me maximum? Like, what did you guys do with the me maximum? It is not here, and I need to get control of what's happening around here, because his narcissism has run amok, and I need to attend to somebody else's narcissism for a moment, because Pablo Torre is sending out newsletters again about how many awards he's won. And I think we're a little tired of his Substack and his newsletters and his emails celebrating all the things that Pablo Torre is, as if he's bored by winning all of these awards. Chris Cody, how has this gone over in the office? Because God bless football, outside of Stugotz's weekend observations, where he did a little bit of an acceptance speech, Stugotz and Billy haven't been running around telling everybody 3 of the last 4 years how many awards they win. This is an exclusive.
Act like you've been there before, Dan.
This is like an exclusive Pablo domain where he can't stop telling his listeners, subscribers, and readers what an award winner he is. Yeah. What does the latest newsletter from Pablo say?
The latest one is just we won more stuff. It's pretty obnoxious, I think. You know, he's just bragging, just dunking on us. Did he send that to me personally?
Why is he dunking on us?
I mean, because that's how I take it.
I would swat that shit.
He's talking about our show.
What do you mean?
To me, that's him saying, I won an award and you guys didn't. I look at it all through our prism. I don't know about you guys.
No, I'm just looking at it as obnoxious. Like, who else is out there telling you all the awards they won? It's not even, I don't know how you made it about us. You're your father's son. You cannot stop making it about yourself. I'm talking about strictly Pablo here.
They're feeling themselves. Matt Sullivan's walking around here with his chest out. He's like, that's right, more awards.
Unbecoming.
Important awards, Tony.
You don't hear me bragging about the awards that the Greg Cody Show has won.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
because
just,
it hasn't won.
No, that's not true.
It has.
What awards has it
absolutely
won?
Not true.
What awards is?
I mean, they give out certain awards that are very fine tuned. I happen to win the award for best podcast hosted by a Greg Cody.
What are you doing?
Okay, and it's not the only one. There are others, believe me, but mine won the award. And
like 3 or 4, right?
Well, no, one. I mean,
okay.
I don't.
I was trying to help you there.
Yeah, but nobody wants to hear that.
I think there might be a Tony Award for Greg Cody later on this year, by the way.
Oh, the Tonys.
That would be great. I would accept that.
Thank you.
Do you have like a ceremony or
the Tony Show, Tony Awards,
a gala?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, a gala. PFPI gala.
You guys were mentioning the dirty alleys of South Beach. Can you guys get me some details, please, on Floyd Mayweather? Evidently, is having a big birthday party that's going to include the Versace mansion, and it brought back a bunch of long ago memories. We are about to play a behind the bit for you here to celebrate our 20-year anniversary. That is the Hard Net Workout. It is one of the things that Greg Cody is most affiliated with, as we do some nostalgic things around here over the course of a year-long celebration on our 20th anniversary. But Floyd Mayweather evidently is having, it's not even, I don't know which birthday this is for him, but I think he's having a $5 million week-long birthday party that's going to include the Versace mansion and where we used to be at the Clevelander. And I'm just wondering how you can spend $5 million in that area. I think Stugotz may have done it in bankrupting our original owners with a party at the Versace mansion a long time ago during the Super Bowl. It's the coolest we've ever been. Shaq's birthday party was there, but I think it bankrupted the company. I'm not totally sure. And I don't understand what details. Can you guys tell me how you think you could spend $5 million on a 47th or 48th birthday party?
Well, I can tell you that house for a week is a couple of $1 million itself.
That's not right. That can't be right.
I think it is, Dan. He's going to be 48, by the way.
That can't be right. It can't. It might be. It might have been then. It can't be now. There's just no way that house is a couple $1 million now. Maybe then during a larger heyday time of what that area was, but that area is not what it used to be. There's people in the back alleys giving blood and look like they're doing heroin in the suburban Suburban of a car.
It can't be millions of dollars a week.
In the trunk, I should say.
I believe that
you could probably purchase it for millions of dollars.
That's what I'm saying. You can,
no,
Chris. I'm saying you can rent it out for a week, take every single room so you have it to yourself, and I think it costs a couple $1 million.
It's the only beach house on a famous strip of land. It's a beach mansion that is worth, I'm sure that plot of land is, if not tens of millions of dollars, possibly $100 million. But I don't think it's $1 million a night anymore to stay at the Versace mansion, or millions of dollars a week.
$41.5 million at auction.
Okay.
For the whole thing.
For the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's haunted.
I could stay there for $1,000 tonight.
Yeah, but that's one room. Mayweather's not interested in a room. He wants the entire house, like we did for the Super Bowl. Like that's a different kind of cost. That's all I'm saying, because you're purchasing every single room for a week. So
the night that we were there, Matt Leinart and Eli Manning showed up too early. Matt Leinart was blasted out of his face. He was in the whirlpool by 5 p.m.
Yeah. Eli was wearing a suit.
Eli was there way too early. We told him so. He arrived. He was a little
good
bit.
show,
He
though,
was a little
man.
stiff. It was a good show. It was a good week. It was a good week of shows. Roy right now is searching deeply through the archives to find out what it is that can be found from that show. I remember telling Reggie Miller to his face that he wasn't a Hall of Famer. That one hurt.
Wow.
Yeah, Boog made me do it while squeezing my knee.
You did it, though, man. I was proud of you.
I did do it.
A lot of pressure.
See if you can find that, Roy, of Boog Shambi purposely, actively trying to sabotage me because I said that Reggie Miller wasn't a Hall of Famer, making me say it to his face. Also there, you know what I remember from that night? It was lovely. McCheesy from The Longest Yard. Terry Crews.
Yeah.
But he wasn't there. He wasn't that. He was just McCheesy on The Longest Yard back there. Oh, you've got it already, Roy. All right, go ahead and play it.
Are you a Hall of Famer? No, there's too many other guys that are more deserving than I.
Le Batard, do you think he's going in?
No.
I think you are.
Yeah, you're going in.
Yeah.
Good teammates you got there.
Squeeze my knee while doing it.
We knew what we were doing.
Yeah. Just straight asshole.
I had Nick Lachey call my wife from there.
Yeah, obnoxious. Just one of the most shameless things I've ever seen.
What a time.
After ripping Nick Lachey. Like,
Yeah.
oh, just
That day.
brutally scummy. Just shameless.
By the way, he is so back. Love is Blind host, him and his wife. Like, they're doing a great job. The wife, not so much.
Find out for me what Floyd Mayweather could possibly be spending
agree.
$5 million on and why. Like, get me some details on what this birthday is going to be. I think we should send a correspondent out there next week to see how close. Like, what do you imagine that this is? What do you imagine a Floyd Mayweather $5 million party that stretches out over a week to celebrate a birthday that's not even one that most of us would celebrate with great vigor?
Yeah.
Another duffel bag full of $10,000 to give to somebody to sit in their chair.
That is small potatoes compared to what we're talking about here. That is something he has done in South Florida when a pool party is too crowded. Somebody just reaches into a backpack and pays $10,000 cash. But this is a different stratosphere. And by the way, this is Jake Paul before Jake Paul, and this is a man who has been a mastermind, even though he is pretty awful at the center of all the things he represents outside of his sport. He is a mastermind at being able to game the system of boxing is dirty and I will be the one who profits off of all the things that involve my name in a way that no one ever has in the history of the sport.
For starters, Dan, he has invited 400 of his closest friends and family. Like, he's going to spend $5 million pretty easily.
Yeah.
Travel, obviously, for wherever they're coming from. First class, I'd imagine, if you're
No
with
one has
Floyd.
400 friends.
I agree
And
with
family,
you.
though, and
I agree
family.
with that.
I don't know. Put it on the poll. Does anyone have 400 friends? 400 friends. I guess it would be friends and family, though, right?
It's 400 of his closest friends and family. You cannot have 400 close friends.
I
You
guarantee you,
200 close friends.
Number 398's like, what the hell am I doing here?
Who's 401?
Who didn't make the cut?
That's right, 401. That
Van
doesn't surprise
Blood guy.
me, the $5 million birthday celebration, because a couple of years ago, David Beckham's son got married, and the woman he married was also from financial means. In other words, this was a power-rich couple, and I'm told that wedding cost about $5 million.
It's not something that I understand, and I imagine most of the people listening to this could understand the idea of being able to celebrate yourself that way. But if Greg Cody had $5 million, he would find ways to spend it on celebrating himself.
What makes you say that?
That way. If you had $5 million of disposable income, of if it didn't matter to you, if it was an amount of money that was irrelevant to you.
Yeah. You know what? I would do a lot of purchases related to satisfying me. I would buy and bring back Lawton's hot dogs off the Merrimack River in Lawrence, Massachusetts. I would probably own a radio station, and play the kind of music I liked,
just for a goof,
Yeah.
Just because you can, right?
Let's play this out. Let's play
Yeah.
this out for a
Bring
second.
Rick Shaw back from the dead.
Hold on.
I love Rick Shaw.
Let's play this out for a second. Let's figure out, the old Richard Pryor movie, Brewster's Millions.
Great movie, by the way.
How can Greg Cody spend $5 million on his party in a week? Now, on the Brewster's Millions conceit was that he couldn't own anything after the purchase.
That's correct. Yes.
So you
Very
can't,
important
You
detail,
can't buy a radio station and have ownership over it. But what you can do is spend all of this money in Greg Cody extravagant ways. I imagine that you would go bowling. Have we given Greg Cody the slab of marble that is not a bowling ball from yesterday because it does not have holes in it? You've been sent a gift from a listener that was said to be a bowling ball, but it's not a bowling ball. It's just something that doesn't have holes in it.
Right.
Have you seen this or
Guys,
no?
Oh, Greg, you're going to love this.
I know you guys are not really into bowling. Like, that's how all bowling balls come, and then
Holy
you
shit,
get it
this is
drilled.
heavy.
You get it. You get
it
the holes
customized.
put
Yes,
in.
you get it
so
fitted.
this is a normal
Right.
bowling
Oh, really?
ball.
It
Yeah.
comes.
All balls come with no holes, and you get your hand fitted to it.
Okay, let's be clear here. A listener sent this to you, Greg. Look at that. That is yours right
Wow.
there.
I'm honored. Miller Lite.
Greg, you want me to bring it in there for you?
Yeah,
Did you see
please.
the other side? But it's not just Miller
toss
Lite.
it
It's
to
just,
him.
it's your
Look
favorite
at
team.
that.
Yes,
Yes.
it's your
Yeah.
Homer ball.
Right. I wish it had my podcast logo on it instead. But listen,
We'll send it back.
It's the
How
thought,
about a
it's-
thank you?
It's the thought that counts, and I really, really appreciate it. I really do.
It sounds less than appreciative when you
No.
say, here's how the gift could have been better.
I mean-
In fairness to Greg, if you know Greg, you know he wants the logo of the show on the bowling
Of
ball.
course.
I
Yes,
mean,
yes, of course,
Right.
that's what
I
you
mean,
know,
right,
but that's not thank you for the gift. I really, really appreciate it. Here's how it could have been better.
Okay.
Someone sent you something for free that was thoughtful.
Yeah.
That is not gratitude, what you just articulated.
Yeah. Also, it's not my weight. It's a little heavy.
Right.
I use a 15-pound ball. This is obviously a 16 by the heft of it. But again, it's a thought that counts, and I really appreciate
When they
it.
drill the holes out, though, it could be less.
And heavy is my bowling ball. No, this is great. And I will have it drilled, and I will use it. So that, the lady shouts, "Storm NFL!" the first time I'm on my backswing with this new ball.
I'm thinking about the radio station that Greg owns.
I want to stop for a second, okay? Because
95.9 the Cody.
We've lost.
WCOT.
It's just
Yeah, I
all
like
Borscht
it.
Belt comedians on tape.
What I would like to stop and do for a moment, because his narcissism has totally run amok, is I want to examine a joke he just made because he's doing stream of conscious Tourette's in a way that only he finds funny. He's not heavy, he's my bowling ball.
Great song.
Give me all the details, Greg, that you have, and please, Tony, Jessica, and Chris, find me all the details you can on the song that Greg Cody is now referencing, that it was an inside joke for just him and the three people Jessica's grandmother's age who wants, or the kind of humor that Greg Cody brings with, he's not heavy, he's my bowling ball.
Right.
Go ahead. Give the people what it is that you just did there so they understand the nuance and layers to that great comedy timing that is Greg Cody.
Well, there was and is, because songs are eternal, a song called "He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother," and it was from the hippie era, I think, like
The Hollies.
Yeah, and it was like a late '60s, very early '70s tune, if I remember correctly, espousing great brotherhood feel and vibes, and it was great. And it still is.
That's crazy because to me, that is just something my dad said. I didn't know that was a song. My whole life, my dad always goes, "It ain't heavy, it's whatever he's holding. It was
Have you
a bowling
never
ball this
seen
time.
Austin Powers Gold member?
Yes, I have.
Parodied at the end of that song. He's not heavy. He's my brother, baby.
I
That's
do
what
that-
Austin Powers says
Yeah.
about Dr. Evil. Spoiler, sorry.
I do that every Christmas. At least once I'll go, I'll be holding up a package, a Christmas gift that I'm about to unwrap, and I'll go, he ain't heavy, he's my package.
Chris, why are you eating pancakes?
Thank you, Dan, for asking. Continuing my American breakfast, I'm having some nice pancakes here this morning with no maple syrup.
Really?
Butter only.
Wow.
I don't mess around with that maple syrup. You don't need it. Butter's enough.
Oh no! The pancakes need
Why don't you
maple.
just
America.
get syrup from like Vermont?
Nope. No syrup for me. Butter. That's it.
Hey,
Is butter American? It should be.
I'm sorry, that was another.
I thought you were gonna say butterbean.
Greg, get out of here.
That was my
Greg.
son Michael's nickname when he was a kid.
Guys,
Butter
he's,
baby?
he's doing his own show.
Hey,
He's just
Butterfinger.
No, because they
I'm
would play.
enjoying it.
They would play ping pong. They would play ping pong, and my brother would fumble the ping pongs, picking them up, and my dad would be like, "Hey, Butterfinger."
Dan is giving up.
Whenever you can't pick something up, like, "Hey, Butterfingers," so my brother became Butterfinger.
Oh, that's
We've
cute.
lost Dan.
I know.
Dad, you would turn it into a song. Do the Butterfinger song.
Butterfinger, 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 Butterfinger. That's to the tune of Chattanooga.
Yeah, we
Choo
got
Choo.
it. Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course,
Yeah,
yes.
like the Glenn Miller Band, I believe. Not positive.
Right.
That was Uncle Bill's, my dad's favorite group.
Do they have any other songs? Is that their only song?
Not that I know of. I'm sure they do. You know, there was a big band, a touring big band, Glenn Miller.
Right.
Not Steve Miller.
No, the
The
Steve
Steve
Miller
Miller Band, different
No.
band. Yeah.
Great band, though.
The Glenn Miller Band.
You're getting emotional though. Just
Yeah, you know, that's the only song my dad used to sing around the house every once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Memories.
you don't need syrup with pancakes.
You
No,
do.
I don't think you do.
Well,
In fact, I would say you're not having pancakes unless you're having them with syrup.
No.
Yeah.
Good with just butter. America.
No.
Yeah.
No.
America.
We love butter. Butter and bacon, the two B's.
Love fat.
I have some details on the Mayweather party, by the way.
What's that, Stugotz?
ATV tour, roller skating,
Nice.
bowling, and more.
Bowling?
That's all I've got right now.
Greg,
Really?
you should try to get an invite for the bowling.
I
You could bring
should.
your new ball.
This could be my gift. No, I wouldn't give it away. Are you kidding me? I'm proud to have it.
Don't you, Greg, don't you think it's easy to spend $5 million in a week if you have 400 friends
Yes.
and family coming?
Oh, for sure.
And you're paying for everything.
In South Beach.
Right.
Right.
Greg, you just had a birthday and you already were like, there's too many people here that I don't know. We could have kept it smaller, right?
I believe that I don't think weddings need to be overpopulated. I don't think birthday parties need to be overpopulated. I'm all for winnowing and just having people there that are in your inner circle, so to speak. You know, I think a trend in weddings that I really hate is the bridal party and the groomsmen. There's like 9 people on each side of the couple. You know, 9. You know, it's
You got to narrow it down to like 3.
I totally
Yes.
one of my friends had 16 groomsmen.
See that? Don't you think that's crazy?
Absurd. I think it's crazy.
It's absurd.
And their bachelor party was like, you might as well have just invited your whole graduating high school class.
No, it's too much.
I did. Stu, remember you went to mine?
I did,
Coco
yes.
K and the
Oh,
cruise.
it was great. How could I forget? If you have 16 people in your wedding party, like no one has 16 friends that are that close to them.
Right.
Nobody. And Mayweather thinking he has 400 friends. Those people are just coming because they were invited, right? It's a free week.
And paid for, yeah.
But 16 friends, what happened to just 2 or 3 friends?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, when I got
Keep
married,
it small. Keep it simple.
when I got married, I had a best man and a groomsman.
That's
2
it.
people. That's
Paul
it.
Radke and Gary the Bag.
No, neither one, but, you know, correct era.
Did either of them give speeches at your wedding?
I don't think either of them were at your wedding.
Oh, those 2? Gary the Bag and Ratke? No.
No.
The Bag I might have invited, had I thought of it. But
Wait, they didn't even go to your. Why didn't they go to your wedding?
My dad's a bad friend. He really doesn't
true.
keep in contact with his friends.
No, that's true.
Until he needs them.
Well, Gary the Bag and I reunited. I'm proud of that.
Right.
Ratke is, you know, I haven't known him for years. Right. But my best man was Uncle Dick, and my groomsman was the late, great Alan Cherry.
Huh. So if you got married again, not that you're going to,
Right.
would you have, like, who would be your best man? Who would be your groomsman? If you got married again.
I haven't,
I feel like it's a sliding scale with you. It's who's done the most for you lately.
Well,
like,
I mean, it's...
I may be in contention.
Yeah,
maybe.
I have no plans to get married again, so we'll call that a moot question and move on. That's a dangerous thing to ask a married man.
Well, I'm not questioning your marriage. I know
Right.
it's strong. I'm wondering if your friends have changed.
Yeah.
If you would take a different
Greg, how
approach,
about more of like a renewing of your vows, right? You guys do
Yes.
it big, right?
Right.
You and Arlene, all of a sudden, it's like walking down the aisle just like it was in 1974.
Yeah.
Right? And then you look back and you see Uncle Dick there, still your best man.
Yeah, he could still do it. Am I the only one who doesn't like the whole renewal of vows thing?
It's got to be a big anniversary for
I'm
that.
with you.
Isn't it unnecessary, though?
We did it once.
Yeah, we did it once.
Why am I renewing?
I mean,
How'd you turn into Seinfeld? We did it once.
I mean, the first time you say "till death do us part,"
right?
You don't got to repeat yourself.
Why do people do? I know my grandparents did it for their 50th wedding anniversary, but it was more so like an excuse to just have a 50th wedding anniversary party.
Yeah.
And there was like a little church element
I mean,
involved.
can I renew my vows whenever I want? Like me and my wife, we just look at each other. Renewed.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's it.
Like 8 years?
No, you can't do it on an odd number
Yeah.
like that. Even though it's an even number, you can't do it an odd number.
Gotta
It's
be
got to
10,
be like
20.
25
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
10.
Yeah.
But why do you have to do it?
You don't have to.
You don't.
But why do people do it? For the
Because they've
party?
gotten in trouble maybe?
Really?
Who
I
around
think
here?
it's for the party.
Who around here is most likely to do it? You think from our crew?
Dan.
Dan.
I could see Tony doing it.
He'll
down
do
the-
it tomorrow.
down
Me and my wife had talked about doing it. Taking everybody to Hawaii, doing it in Hawaii on the beach.
You guys definitely have like
Something
cute
I can't
pet
wait,
names for
Tone.
each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You have
Bunny or
cute
something.
what?
I call her BB.
Hey,
Really?
baby, see, I was close.
What does she
But
call?
Bunny is one of our other coworkers.
What does she call you?
BB.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The same one.
So Lee and I call each other Bob and Bob, which is basically like BB but with an O.
Couple
with
of
a
Bobs.
And Lehman.
And I do call him Lehman. I call him Lehman now. And
Roy, any pet
people
names?
are like, why?
I call her baby. That's kind of shit.
Baby.
I love that.
She calls me Roy.
There you go.
Don't love that as much.
She calls me Roy.
That feels like you're perpetually in trouble, though. If she calls you by your first full name, like whenever I hear Anthony, I know I'm.
I don't know. It's not
deep
like
trouble.
It's not like she's my mom and like going Roy Anthony or something like that.
Right. Just
Yeah, you
Roy.
gotta add the middle name in there.
Yeah. Would you like a pet name or?
Nah, I'm good. Please don't give me a pet name. I don't need that. Thank you.
What's yours?
I kind
Yeah,
of want
what
to give
is
you
yours?
one.
Come on, Chris.
My wife calls me Babe.
Right. And
I at the beginning of our relationship, I may have thrown around the word Pookie.
Oh, Pookie's looking fabulous
cute.
tonight.
That's
so
a
it
pet
stops?
name. That's a pet nickname.
I just started sweating revealing that, and I've revealed a lot of stuff. I don't know why I'm so embarrassed by that.
She doesn't listen.
well, why Pookie's a cute name?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just I feel like a loser.
Yeah.
What?
You have feelings?
you don't want the listeners to imagine you calling your wife Pookie?
Not really.
Huh?
Greg, do you have a pet name for your wife?
None that I would admit.
Whoa.
No, I'm just
We're all
kidding.
being
No, I don't.
open.
I'm not a pet nickname guy.
Because
No.
pet means fart in your house.
Right. He
Oh,
lets
that's
pets.
true too.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even thought of that actually. But
And
you're
Jumpin'
right.
Charlie. That's
Yeah.
your pet name right there.
Yeah, exactly. If I have pets, I give them names. That's a pet name. I don't bother with calling my wife anything other than her name, quite frankly.
Never honey or anything?
Yeah, every once in a while, who is it, baby? Every
What about
once in a
the
while,
in the throes of passion?
Baby.
Throw that back.
I look at Jason smirking back there when I brought up passion. Nice.
Because names change in times of passion.
They do.
They
Go
do.
on. Go on.
Well, I mean, you'll say anything. I mean,
You will say anything. That is
Like?
true.
Come here, my little firecracker.
Wow.
Firecracker.
I've said it.
Firecracker. Good guess.
That's my pet name, little firecracker. Anyway, this is all you're doing, Greg.
Yeah, it's your fault.
I can't remember how this came up.
It came up because we were talking about you.
Okay.
Yeah. How's the bowling ball?
It's a little heavy on my leg, quite frankly.
Is it really?
Yeah. I don't know if I can use it. I've never used a 16-pound ball. But what's a 15 I'm used to, so, what's 1 pound?
Right. It's a nice ball, though.
It is. I like the color. I like purple. It's a Brunswick, which is a good name in bowling balls. So.
It's the only name in bowling balls.
Oh, there's others now. There's a million others. Hammer, AMF, I think is still around.
But you want a Brunswick. It's the
Cadillac.
It's like having TaylorMade or Ping, right?
Yeah, I mean it's at least it was the Cadillac when I first started bowling, pre-kids.
Is the Cadillac of cars anymore?
No.
No, but you still say the Cadillac.
What is the
no,
Cadillac?
you still do.
Good question.
Of Cadillacs.
I don't know.
Of cars.
Bentley?
No.
No, you're talking American cars.
Maybach?
We're not talking
Damn right
about
we are.
British.
We're not talking Canadian cars, I'll tell you that much.
Do they have cars?
What?
Do they have Canadian
They
cars?
have a Hyundai.
I mean,
course they do.
Don't they
Hyundai.
manufacture a lot of the
Hyundai.
parts for our American
Yeah, but they
cars?
don't have like a
Hyundai.
car that's made in Canada, like a Canadian
must.
car.
I think American cars are sometimes made.
No, I know, I get that, but we're calling them American cars. But there are there Canadian cars?
I think there are.
I believe, yeah.
What is
I
like
believe
Kia
so.
from Canada?
No,
or
that's
something?
South
No,
Korea.
that's
No,
yeah,
Kia
that's
is not
Korean.
from Canada.
That's what I'm saying. There's no car brand
could
that
be, eh?
is a Canadian car. They use our stuff.
Wow. Google that. Are there Canadian cars? There have to be.
Chris, you're into this game tonight?
Dude,
I'm
wearing a bathing suit on my head.
I know, but I've turned on this game.
What?
What?
What if Kachuk gets hurt?
Oh. Well, then the Panthers are screwed.
I know. So, would you rather win tonight's game or win the Stanley Cup? Is essentially.
He can take 2 weeks off for an injury if they win tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
What if it's a season-ending injury?
Yeah, then I don't
No.
want it, Stugotz. I mean,
What are you
jeez.
jinxing
Why
it
does it have
for?
to be that?
Why are you saying that?
It's a big sin. Just one beer, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Now, Mike, you know we're here to cover the big game. It's a time to be professional and avoid all the temptations the City of Angels may have to offer. Ain't that right, Jess and Kate?
That's right. We're just here to ask quirky questions to grown men wearing their full uniforms without pads in a convention hall.
Oh my God, is that George Clooney?
It is! Baby, one scotch at the Roxy. Come on now!
One shot at whiskey, a go-go.
There we go!
Now we're drinking Jordan Boyd. Temptations, but a job to do. Professionals with a drink or two. Just a thimble of gin, and then I'll be locked in. After gin, then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I mean, we have been locked up for a while.
Yeah, there's no rule against covering the big game and enjoying La La Land.
Wait a minute, it's the Walk of Fame. So much to see instead of the big game. And the traffic is bad on La Brea. So come on, join me in popping tequila.
I'm just here to drink and find Lewis Hamilton.
Hey, guys.
I'm great.
You gonna shotgun a beer or what?
I don't feel so good. I am genuinely fucked up right now.
To the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
It's showtime, buddy!
The Bengal speaks. And the ram responds. The Bengal tiger is an apex predator with no natural enemies other than man. It's equipped with incredible strength, combined with sharp claws and massive canine teeth, designed for overpowering and killing its prey that can weigh over 1,000 pounds. It is, in reality, a finely tuned killing machine. The ram, on the other hand, though extremely quick and powerful in its own right, is a vegetarian that does not have to hunt down and kill to survive. Their massive horns are powerful, and they do have the ability to severely injure an animal with a well-placed bow, giving them the opportunity to escape. But for one to be able to overtake a Bengal tiger in a fight to the death would require a small miracle.
Stafford with the ball, with 6 minutes left, down 4 points, with 79 yards to go.
In a face-to-face battle, the best the ram could hope for would be an extremely lucky first blow, done in the form of a massive headbutt that would temporarily stun the Bengal and provide an opportunity for escape. That, however, is unlikely. And the most realistic result would be the Bengal striking its claws into the ram while burying its teeth into its neck and causing a fairly quick death by severing the spine.
T. Higgins is gone for 75 yards.
Then the Bengal would devour the ram. Unless that ram was Cooper.
You and only you can spark a battle cry. The Rams, victory was sealed on strength of your divine champions.
Stafford hangs back, looks off the corner, over the middle, a no-look pass. The hands are up for Cooper. McVay keeps calling his number. The penalty flags rain towards ground. Everyone in the building knows where it's going. Stafford to Cup in the end zone. Oh, the joy and elation of the moment. The polarizing quarterback and the Big Sky Conference product answered the bell. One of the game's historic moments.
Nothing stops the NFL. Nothing stops the NFL. Nothing stops the NFL. Nothing stops the NFL. One play at a time, boys. One play at a time. Winning isn't everything. It's the only
There's nothing like the NFL.
All right, guys, I'm really excited about this. I've just been listening to the Hamilton soundtrack my entire drive over here. A little bit of another day of sun because Jess and I have been talking about singing that together. Super excited to be part of this.
Hey, Izzy. JT, that's my friend Izzy from ESPN.
Nice to meet you, man.
Hey, guys.
Izzy Gutierrez around the horn. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, look, I understand I don't really work for you guys, but I heard you guys were doing this, and it really means a lot to me. You know, representation matters. I know that's not necessarily something that really counts in your shipping container or is really accounted for in your shipping container. So once I heard you guys were doing a big gay musical, I had to be a part of it.
Doing what?
The big gay musical. No, I figured I heard about it in Greg Cody's column, or
No, it's the Big Game musical. The Big Game with an M.
Shit. Well, who's going to listen to that?
Greetings to all. Welcome to 2022. Omicron is on the run, and away it went. But oops, there goes gravity, and here comes a new variant. Omaha, Corona, Hut 1, Hut 2, nothing infects the Super Bowl, and nothing stops football.
Racism, greed, trauma to brain and spine. And yet, I cannot look away. Heroes are dead. Science has their heads. Oh, is there no escape from here? I need to know. It eats my soul. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's human cockfighting. CTE prayer circles. They blackballed the blackballer. They tried to end racism by stenciling it in the end zone. Billionaire boys using millionaires as toys. It's all immoral, all unethical. Ooh, the witching hour. Nothing stops the NFL. Is this heaven or hell? I can't tell. It's Urban and Snyder and Flores and Gruden, but Kyler, but Kelsey, but Cooper, but Canty. It's cheating and tanking and bounties and banking, but parlays, but face paint, but promo.
Welcome back to Who Dat Is. I've been told that I am the only undefeated person in the Venmo era. Now, I've been given a hint. There are two people in this. If I get one, I get credit. All right, so here we go. Ooh, baseball players.
All right, Who That Is presented by Venmo. I come off paternity leave, right? Taylor grabs me. It's 8 in the morning. He's like, hey, we need to do Who That Is. I'm like, all right, perfect. I love it. I'm excited. And I said, do I have any chance today? Who's gone? He said, oh, Billy, this person, that person, whatever. He's like, respectfully, I think you're chalked, which is not a good start. Not the way I wanted to start at 8:23 in the morning, but we're going to check. Here we go. Okay, these are Yankees.
They're Yankees.
Ooh, man, we're going baseball and that. You got me right in the gut with this one. Wow. If I get one of them, you're going to be good. So I know the dude on the right is a pitcher, and he's a lefty.
Are these new signings? They are new signings. Okay, yeah, because I follow the Yankees, and I don't recognize these faces.
The one on the left is an MVP in the last several years?
An MVP of what? He didn't look like that when he won the MVP.
Is that Nolan Arenado? Okay. The Cardinal is on the left, and he won an MVP in the last 5 years. Matt Holliday. Jr.
I want to say that's Garrett Cole. No, it's not Garrett Cole. Okay. Are they new Yankees? They just got signed. Oh, I'm cooked.
All right, so dude on the right is going to be his free agent pitcher who just signed this. Oh, man. I know I don't think I'm right, but I'm going to say Blake Snell. I knew that wasn't right.
Boof Bonzer. Come on.
Tyler Glasnow.
It's Max Fried.
Who that is? Let's see who we got. This is a Yankee player. That is the pitcher that they just traded for from the Braves. Max Fried.
Did they sign Paul Goldschmidt? Is that Paul Goldschmidt? Max Fried, Paul Goldschmidt. That's who this is, presented by Venmo.
That's Goldschmidt? Oh, my goodness. See, if I would have zoomed in, he looked so Hispanic to me.
Oh, Paul Goldschmidt, of course, number 44. Played for the Cardinals, played for the Diamondbacks. Okay, incredible first baseman. Paul Goldschmidt. I didn't know that's what he looked like.
I know Goldschmidt as a Diamondback. Who's a Brave? Max Fried. I feel like I should have known both of those.
That's Paul Goldschmidt? I know Paul Goldschmidt. Wow. Wow. That's a bad one. I know Paul Goldschmidt.
Who that is? Really, literally, who that is, I don't know. I have no idea.
Because his name, of course, is Wade Jones.
Stugotz, what's the matter, buddy?
I mean, right, just one time. I mean, 40 years I've been rooting for this team, and just one time I wanted my team to play in that big game in that beautiful dome in Los Angeles.
Dome? What about the elements? Back in my day, we didn't play in a dome. Let me tell you, back in my day, we considered football to be an honorable game. We didn't have to pass the ball every single play, and that's how we did it back in my day. It's the cold in December and sweltering two-a-days. It's embracing occasional puns, and don't get me started on instant replay. Now we're cooking with gas. Watch out. I'm not done, by the way.
and gentlemen. That's how they played the game back in my day. It's Len Dawson enjoying a smoke and a brew during a game. Tank Stram wearing a sports coat. Legalize the clothesline and bring back drop kicks while you're at it. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day. Ba-da-ba-diddly-up. Bop. Ba-da-ba-diddly-up. Bop. Bop. That kind of thing.
Thanks for the lift, bro.
No problem.
Yo, what is this? Is this the musical? Turn it down, man. Like, I'm so tired of it. Musicals are corny. The shit is corny. Like, me tiene hasta aquí with this musical stuff, man. Just turn it down. I want to just chill, man, for real.
I feel you, bruh. I used to be that same way. Then my dog Andrew Lloyd Webber touched my soul with Phantom. And I quickly realized that, man, musicals, they're the highest form of theatrical art that there is, my brother. Think about it. It combines song, movement, dialogue, and production in a comprehensive fashion that really can't be rivaled. I'm talking about really, like, intricate shit, man. In many ways, musical led the cultural change in the 1930s, which was considered to be the golden age of musicals. Had those supremely talented artists not pushed boundaries and helped shape the new American pathos back then, I don't know if I'd be here right now today, standing in front of you. No cap, like no capadonna. Musicals have the capability to make you feel ways that you never thought possible. Even if you might find the subject matter mundane going into it, by the end of the experience, you might find yourself spiritually enlightened through the magic of song and an occasional exposition to advance the story. Matter of fact, I'm feeling ways about football right now I could never dream prior to. I think I'm about to have a moment, my brother. Way down in the jungle deep, a lion bit a Viking on his motherfucking knee. It began in 1869, I see you, Mojo, with a match between the Princeton Tigers and the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Then in 1880, along came a man named Walter Camp, the father of American football, the Waltster. Wham, as they called him. He established the snap, the line of scrimmage, 11-player teams, and the concept of downs. The gladiator spectacle. Though the game has evolved over time, at the heart of it, the game of football is just a primal means to tell the age-old story of the triumph of the human spirit. Can you and your teammates overcome the brutal battery of physical and emotional trials over the course of a savagely cruel 18-week regular season, brother? And what be your reward for such a merciless gauntlet? A thrilling single elimination tournament that pushes the peak male form to high water marks year after year against the game's very best. All with the hope that you and your brothers in combat can rise above all others in one unified voice. Declare yourselves champion. That is why, with every fiber of our being, we love the playoffs.
When the best play, trenches face to face, sacrifice life and limb for the Lombardi. If there's a way, Stafford turns it all around. It would have to be LA, it would have to be McVay. What you say, Tom Brady, always down. Could he turn it all around now? Turn it all around now. Wipes the blood from his lip, holy shit, he's gonna do it all again, do it all again. It's time for the playoffs, so grab a beer. Hot goalies, playoff beards, and Lord Stanley. No, Roy, I'm not talking about ice hockey. I'm talking about the NFL playoffs, the gridiron, winner go home, the ultimate postseason tournament. Here, let me show you. Big Ben's last game, Kyler's feeling shame. Upsets in Green Bay and in Tennessee. There's just no way Prescott's going to the ground. He slid 1 second too late, and they don't have a timeout. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Arrowhead, become personal playgrounds. Personal playgrounds. Too much time, 13 ticks. Holy shit, he's gonna do it all again. Do it all again. It's time for the playoffs. So grab a beer. I hope it's Miller Lite. It's time for the playoffs. The playoffs. It's time for the good stuff. Where every game comes down to guys who kick. It's time for the playoffs. The playoffs. The
The playoffs sometimes mean having to say goodbye, even if you're not ready. Careers wind to an end, mantles taken, last chapters written. But stars emerge to write new, exciting stories. For every door that closes, a new one opens. For every immunized quarterback that falls short, there's a young hotshot ready to take his place. There's nothing quite like playoffs. The playoffs. Heavy is the head, then where's the crap? I'm talking about the greatest of all time. He can turn it around in just one play. You can watch it all happen in the playoffs. The playoffs, the playoffs, it's the playoffs. Never is afraid, I see his face, the chosen. I'm talking about Adam McPherson. It's time for the playoffs. It's the playoffs, the playoffs, it's the playoffs.
This is
behind the bit.
This is
Behind the bit. This is behind
the bit. We take you back to a better time in the show's history, a time, at least for me, where I was happiest because we were at ESPN.
You're the old white guy columnist
I
who
am.
always castigates the athlete
Getting older every day.
for misbehaving and for urinating on sportsmanship. What side are you on? In
Well,
this?
I want to make 2 points. Number one,
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.
I mean, back in my day, I used to build forts. You know, Fortnite was nothing you stared at. It's something you built with your hands, like Man 101. It was.
This was the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I would Google my name and Coco. Don't have enough time.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.
Dan
Jimmy?
Campbell, Man Campbell,
Yo, Man Campbell, right.
Jimmy Johnson.
Otherwise, you never know.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.
Please explain the hard network out.
Well, I've missed so many of them. Apparently, I don't know what a hard network out is. For some reason, the listeners seem to enjoy it when I miss a hard network out.
We all enjoy it.
You know, but it doesn't happen intentionally.
Hard Network Out was born out of necessity. We had to adhere to network clocks with ESPN, which was truthfully a struggle for everybody. So we instituted a sounder that was just unavoidable because the time we had to break was unavoidable at the bottom of the hour. Nobody had a harder time with that concept than Greg.
Oh, boy. Greg is just oblivious to everything that's going on in that studio. Dan and I noticed it early on. By the way, I will say this. Greg has been a breath of fresh air for our show. The audience loves him. The staff loves him. I love him. But He has no clue what the hell is happening and what we're doing every single Tuesday that he comes in. And so we noticed it, and we thought it'd be funny to try to cut him off at a hard network out. We were still at ESPN, so we had to be out by a certain time at the end of every hour. And we figured Greg eventually would catch on to the fact that we're asking him questions at the end of every hour with about 4 seconds to go on the clock.
I made the imaging. I took a gold horn that the New York Islanders had in 1996, and then I spliced it together with Poppy.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.
And there you have the imaging for the Hard Network out.
Has Greg ever asked you guys, like, why do you keep cutting me off?
He still doesn't know.
No, he keeps talking through them. We're taking advantage of an old man.
I think at one point Dan wore a clock on his head, and Greg still didn't know.
That's why he undersells when he says, we noticed that Greg Cody was oblivious. This is us working around the general incompetence of Greg Cody at all times.
Yes.
He doesn't know what time in the show we are, even if I'm wearing a clock that says so on a baseball cap. Eventually, it got so bad that we're like, okay, we're just going to make this a joke, and we're going to see how we can trick him into tripping over this finish line. And it's never once been faked. Everyone thinks that some of them are so perfect that we must have maneuvered him into position with him acting with us. Never. It's never fake.
To me, the Hard Network Out is just, it kind of encapsulates my dad on this show in one bit, because it's something that the audience has always thought is fake, but it's just my dad not really getting what we're doing around here. And that's why he's one of, I think, the best, even more than Stugotz, the best character on our show, because it's not a character. Because I just feel like it is such a good example of you on this show. Like, you are just, you're yourself. You're not a character.
Yeah.
You're not gonna learn. Even after the 12th time we've gotten you in 6 months, you're just gonna show up next week and you're gonna forget about it again. And it's a beautiful thing.
Never Dan would wear a hat with the clock counting down. He would be looking straight at Greg with a countdown clock that would go to 0. He would complain that the clock wasn't anywhere that he could see it, and even when we removed all of those excuses, he'll just never change those things. It'd be weird for him to all of a sudden grasp it now, right?
No, I know there's a countdown clock even now, but I'm looking at someone I'm talking to.
You have to be able to do.
I'm looking over there.
You have to be able to multitask.
And the clock is up there.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
And I'm looking at people. I'm looking at eye level. Yeah. I'm never going like that and looking at a clock. And
you can tell it's very difficult.
Look to this. I've never worn a watch. I don't use my iPhone as a clock. I don't care what time it is.
I'm sure if
the group Chicago said, does anybody really know what time it is? I know, but I don't care.
Really care?
Yeah.
We told you repeatedly to go to the doctor. You ignored us. You finally went to the doctor, and the results of your visit to the doctor were what?
Yeah, after several tests, they found a tumor in my chest.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody. It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.
I don't particularly enjoy the Hard Network Out.
I asked that question. I left him about 3 seconds. 3 seconds to answer a serious question about a visit to the doctor and a tumor.
We can't do better than that. Comedically, we can't do better than tumor, and then him starting the next thought with, and then just a foghorn all of a sudden. That was perfect.
Perfect, yes. Perfect execution,
like,
yes.
We knew as soon as that happened that that's as well as that bit of incompetence.
You want like 1.5 words to come out, and then boom.
Yes, one and a half. If one of the words is tumor, just a couple of syllables, one of them's tumor, you've got comedic gold.
What makes that great is we are talking, I think it's the only time we've done this, about such a sensitive topic.
That's right. We had genuine concern and then immediate laughter in his face, braying laughter.
About a tumor.
When they did a Hard Network Out on me describing the most major surgery I've ever had in my life, that one I had to laugh at because it's just so absurd. And that one told me that if they're going to do a Hard Network Out on me for that, nothing is off limits. You know, it's all about the show first because, you know, I'm talking about a major big fist-sized tumor being removed from my cheek and
benign tumor, benign for everyone else.
It was benign, yes.
He's fine.
Chris, were you there for the Hard Network Out, the tumor one?
Yes, that was a rare Dan was out. Like, we rarely have like show historic moments when Dan's out. And that was one of them. Stugotz driving the show, walking you right into it. That is just an all-timer because that was a scary time for us. Was that pre-surgery? Was that when you had the tumor still in you? I'm trying to think back.
No, I think that was after my surgery.
So you had the surgery.
Yeah.
So we were feeling better about his health then, but I just remember late in that minute, like late in that segment of like, oh God, Stugotz is starting this topic. And it was just like all of our eyes, all of us in the back, we got a combination of excited that, oh my God, this is going to be an epic hard net workout, and a little combination of, I hope my dad is fine with this because it's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah, well, I had to laugh at it, first of all, because I was feeling euphoric relief because it was major surgery. And, you know, a week or two before that, my wife and I are sitting in an oncologist's office finding out test results, whether or not the tumor right in the middle of my chest was cancerous or not. I was terrified, you know, and it was benign, and the surgery went well, and that was probably my first time on the show after the surgery, so
probably would have gone differently.
fine.
Probably would have gone differently if it wasn't benign. We probably would have spared you the hard net workout.
I'd like to think so, but with this show, you never know.
It's Dan, Stu, and Gregory on ESPN Radio.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by Venmo.
I have to admit here publicly that I am a little concerned at the general amount of Greg Cody fuel gasoline that we have pumped into the Greg Cody vehicle today, because he was just staring at that. Oh, a segment about me. He has never been so engaged for 2 hours of this show because of how self-involved the first 2 hours of this show have been. We have neglected to mention in a wondrous and wild Greg Cody Thursday that last night, quietly, while many of you were sleeping, the Charlotte Hornets had the single greatest play game that they have had in their history.
Really?
They beat the Lakers on the road. They beat Luka. They beat LeBron. I know I'm informing you, many of you, of this.
Basketball is back?
The second half started, huh?
It is the single biggest moment in the history of Charlotte Hornets basketball, not because it was a big moment, but because the Charlotte Hornets haven't done anything meaningful, and they won on the road yesterday against LeBron and Luka. That's not great. That's not great after all the attention that trade got. All of a sudden you look up, we can't play defense, but we did in this game, and LaMelo Ball just beat us with 100 points at home because Luka was 1 for 9 from 3.
5 of 18 overall.
I did watch the game, and actually Mark Williams had a really good game for the Hornets.
He did. Yes.
LeBron dunked on him, though.
That is good analysis, all of it. Everything you guys just said, and Charlotte wins at the end. LeBron loses. That's not good. That's not at home to Charlotte.
Yeah, it's Luka's still trying to get the wheels greased. Obviously, he had the calf injury, still not 100% right. 5 for 18 is tough. He's still trying to get used to a new offense.
Tony,
playing
was their
with
14th
LeBron.
win. 14th win for Charlotte.
It's not great. It's not great.
Lakers had a 7-game home win streak snapped.
They were playing well, too, yeah.
But you know what? Who the real winner is? We're talking about regular season NBA basketball games again. After the show has been declaring the NBA is dead for the last 10 days.
That's
so
right.
NBA season back. NBA back, the show, watching regular season
thank you,
basketball.
Jessica. Thank you for mentioning the part about ratings, because if you've been listening at all to the sporting class where Pablo Torre leads John Skipper and David Sampson to basically give you all of the sports business secrets, like super secret stuff that people generally don't know, you can find on that podcast. And it's one of the reasons that I say David Sampson has gotten so good at the public talking of business. Since yesterday, we flew in Darren Ravel yesterday to have a business off with David Sampson that we're going to have in today's show, because David Sampson maintains that he is more famous than Darren Ravel and more credible in the business world than Darren Ravel. So we're going to pit them against each other here at some point in the last 2 hours of this show. But on the Sporting Class podcast, the thing that Skipper keeps saying that I think is somehow being missed throughout the entire country on the business of basketball when we're having this conversation about ratings slipping in basketball. They don't matter. The guaranteed money that NBA now has, it doesn't matter if you watch or not. The business of it doesn't need your eyeballs. You can say the sport is dying, but that's become a social media sport. People are still consuming it. They might not be consuming it at the minute that you want them to, and that might hurt the next contract. But what they're getting now, those arenas can be empty. Like they've got their money. It doesn't matter whether they play, whether load management, whether the All-Star game. Television needs the content. They, despite the ratings decline, have gotten all the television money because all of these rich people are competing for, I need to televise this, whether people are watching it or not. It literally doesn't matter to the business of this whether anyone is watching it when it's televised.
Well, it doesn't matter to the NBA. You're right. It does matter to the people who are paying those bills. I mean, who are trying to monetize.
Correct, but the business of it gets the guarantee.
I understand,
The money's
right.
So we spend so much time talking about the ratings, and the ratings don't hurt the business in any way. The money's all guaranteed.
But eventually, it's going to hurt that business.
I thought it would now. Weren't the ratings just going down, and then the business of it opens up, and there are unbelievable amounts of money for the business of basketball.
The ratings go down by 5% or whatever it is from last year, but we still spend the entire week of the Super Bowl talking about the biggest NBA trade ever. So, I mean...
But I'm not talking about the NBA. I am in general. Like, I'm talking about the next rights deal, which is, I don't know
in
when that...
a long time.
Stugotz.
I understand that, but eventually what's going on right now, and the horrible job that Adam Silver has done, is going to impact the bottom line for the NBA.
I understand why you would think you're better at business than Adam Silver. I'm telling you...
I didn't say that.
Well, no, but Stugotz, everyone thinks that this was going to be the contract when that happened because the ratings were going down. And
Right.
what happened when Amazon and NBC, Stugotz, the amount of money, you guys see what's happening. I think you see what's happening. You see Netflix has a special on basketball patriotism that has Kevin Durant crying. You have on HBO, We Beat the Dream Team, a documentary that's running about all of the college players that beat the Dream Team in a game. It's a good documentary. There's so many good stories in there of just that Mike Krzyzewski is claiming that Chuck Daly threw the game by not letting Michael Jordan play. And so it's Christian Laettner that's out there for the Dream Team
That would
against
change
Chris
things.
Webber
Yeah,
and stuff.
right.
And Mike Krzyzewski is denying Chris Webber, Grant Hill, what was a lifetime achievement by saying he threw the game. Chuck Daly threw the game, and Grant Hill goes to confront him. Coach K, it's a great documentary. The business of that sport is now, with the television partnership it needs to sell that sport as a social media sport in the new age, to get listeners with Mr. Beast and viewers with Mr. Beast. But it's a social media sport now. You don't have to be watching late night television right now at the appointed time in order for late night television to be successful because it's traveling through your social media feed. Basketball is in the new age of what this is, and they have all the money in the world to figure out something in 8 years that I thought would already arrive here. Because if they were going to be affected by it, it was going to be after the bubble, after Kyrie Irving, during load management, and it didn't affect it at all, Stugotz. They got monster dollars because if it's Bezos competing against Netflix for we need the content, there's a never-ending stream of money that makes the customer irrelevant. Like, it makes you and me, the media, irrelevant. They don't need us. They just go into business together, and we just become collateral damage on what the business of it is because they've already got the guaranteed money. It's been fascinating to listen to John Skipper and Sampson tell fans again and again here, you don't matter, and I don't understand why the media keeps talking about ratings.
I think part of this conversation is the Women's Professional Basketball League new in Miami here, Unrivaled, which is essentially a made-for-TV league that doesn't worry much about fans at all. They let 850 fans max at every game. They're there for background. They're there as window dressing. They don't need that league does not need the fans because they have TV content.
No league does. No league does. You can play in empty stadiums. They did during the pandemic. Like, I know you they prefer the concessions. they prefer to have arenas filled with people, but the televised product is more important than the in-person and you've seen this for a decade. It's more fun, easier to watch it at home than it is to brave the parking. Like, it's the new age of getting disconnected from your sports team while you think you're more connected to it than you've ever been.
No, they're all great points. You know, I found out about the Laker game last night because on social media I saw LeBron miss 2 chances to tie the game up. And that's all I needed to see. Like, I don't care about the first 197 points. I don't care about Mark Williams. I care about what happened at the end. And what happened at the end is at my disposal whenever I want. You know?
I do think, like, there's a middle ground between the fans don't matter and the fans don't care, which is, like, I think that, like, if we did have empty arenas again, like during COVID, like totally empty, no environment, no experience, like nothing. I think people watching the televised product would probably say that it's not as interesting when there's no one there. So there's stuff like the fans matter, but I think we're only talking about like marginal decreases that in the grand scheme of how important basketball is to like our just everyday like culture, sports culture, like it's not gonna just disappear because people don't watch the All-Star game.
You say this though, and I would ask you if the ratings are lower when the fans are in the building than they were during the pandemic because the ratings keep getting lower, and if the whole construct of the business is just we need to have the programming. I just need the play. I don't even need the star players to play. I just need to know that at this night I can play my commercials or do whatever it is that I'm trying to get your subscriptions because we've got the games that night, and that's the 3 hours that we've got. I'd like for you guys to hear John Skipper and David Sampson explain this to you with more expertise than I can offer, but they've been saying this for years that the customer becomes less and less relevant whether or not they're actually watching.
Well, my view is they are ascendant. The deals they just did are much, much more important than whatever the regular season ratings are. We're back to people thinking the ratings are some dramatic indication of the health of the league. The ratings this year for the NBA are up and down. I think overall, other than the Christmas games, they're down a little bit. But so what? I mean, Adam has to address it, but his league couldn't be more healthy. He just signed, what was it, $76 billion
their
dollars worth of deals, triple what they got before. If you could ask any owner, the commissioner, anybody associated with the NBA, would you rather have the ratings go up 20% or the media rights go up 300%? They would say, I'll take the 300% increase in media rights. And I think the league was worth it. I think the league is fine. Adam has to answer those questions, but the league is fine. People are watching the games. People care. So I think the league is in excellent shape. They have to deal with this. I don't think the fact that the ratings are down 3% for one Sunday or up 2% for one Sunday is particularly relevant.
By the way, I don't know if you guys have League Pass, but it is electric. You watch the entire in-stadium entertainment experience from your couch. You see the people doing like weird talent show things at halftime. You see people doing like finish the lyrics. It's the greatest thing of all time. There's just no commercials. You're just watching people inside MSG or whatever arena doing dumb shit, and it's great. And then there's basketball. I love it. It's worth every penny.
Is it as good as Tony's new segment, Don't Look Now? Is it as entertaining?
No.
Oh, wow. You were ready in that moment to do Don't Look Now.
Are you looking at me?
Before we do Don't Look Now, and I'm not looking at you right now.
I am.
I want to... Stugotz would like to be wearing that blindfold in a more private, intimate setting with you, Tony.
Baby!
And only that blindfold. We have creeped well into sexual harassment here with Tony in a way that's not comfortable.
I do declare everything's fine.
Chris Cody whispered to me, thank you for telling us who you were impersonating there, Skip. He just whispered in my ear that John Skipper was wearing a $20,000 turtleneck.
At least.
That thing looked nice.
Beautiful. Cashmere. I mean...
what do you guys do with the information? Just, do you think the audience feels based on the perception of that league and how it's covered and being reported and everyone's fixing the league? Do you think that the average person listening to this understands that for all the hand-wringing about the NBA being too woke and being in ratings decline, that the important fact that John Skipper just gave there was that the TV rights during a time of great consternation tripled. We're talking about a league as if it doesn't have value when the TV rights during a difficult time tripled.
It has value from a business standpoint, Dan, because there are multiple bidders who want to get into this game. That I understand. It doesn't mean the product's any better. I care about the product. The NBA is not something that I look forward to like I used to. It's not.
Okay, there are a lot of people doing that one, and I understand why a lot of people are doing that one. And there are a lot of reasons for that include there's so much sports going on right now that you're only going to give your attention to some of the places because you can't put it anywhere. There are 1,000 reasons for why all that is so about the NBA. They do have a perception problem. There are too many people talking about what a bad league it is. And it includes the people who are Charles Barkley and Stephen A. Smith and all the people who are voices for these partnerships who have turned on the sport. Draymond Green in the middle of it, telling you that it's boring. Like, I'm not saying that people aren't verbalizing that this is a problem. But when your business has a problem that is people talking and your business has the gain of triple the TV rights, you're just covering it. It's Chris Cody's theory of, does it matter if Zion Williamson's shoe explodes? It's just attention. It doesn't matter how you get the attention. Basketball's getting the attention, even if it's bad attention.
But the two least watched and lowest rated All-Star games in NBA history were the one from last weekend and the one before that. Is Adam Silver not supposed to be concerned about that?
Just doesn't matter, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so Adam Silver's like,
he
who
got
cares?
triple, Greg.
He can be concerned about it, and then he can go and drink, a very nice wine with all of the money he gets from the owners because he's running their business very well. With great concern, he can drink the most expensive wine you've ever seen in your life.
I just find like overreacting about the All-Star game to be just why are we doing that? We do it every year, and like it just doesn't matter. Like I don't understand why the show did this for the last week.
But see, this is something
because Mike doesn't watch the NBA anymore. I don't know.
It's not. He's not the only one doing it though. This is the language around that entire league right now. Like, he's not the only one doing it. As content, it was the easiest thing in the world over the last week to both fix basketball and fix the All-Star game. It's the laziest possible thing, and everybody was doing it.
It doesn't matter. What Dan is saying is it doesn't matter that I've stopped watching or Mike stopped watching. They got their money, and it's guaranteed.
Well, and beyond that, let's play this
They
sound
have 9
here.
years to figure it out.
If the Heat were good this year, we'd be talking about how it's the greatest league in the whole world.
Well, perhaps, but we also have the added element of a former Heat player in Tim Hardaway doing one of the things that we love about the league, which is just call Jimmy Butler a crybaby, and we'll make content out of it for days.
I didn't agree with what he was doing. You're under contract. You a baby. You know, you're a crybaby because they said no to you. We used to get said no to us all the time, and we used to know how to take it. It is what it is. It's a question. You get a yes or a no. You might not like the question, but you can't deviate and mess up the team. All right? They said no. We want to see you play more games. We don't want to be in the play-in games. If he played more games, he would have never been in the play-in games both years. Even though they went to the championship, they never would have been in the play-in games. That takes a lot out of you. They want to say, look, we want a week off. We want a week to prepare, and we need that week because we play hard each and every game, and we need to rest. All right? So he wasn't willing to do that. He was willing, and I fault them for letting him get away with a bunch of stuff too. You know, you got to nip it in the bud. When he went after Spoelstra, told Spoelstra he'd kick his butt at a timeout, and they had to take another timeout because Udonis Haslem was circling him around. You know, that should have been like, yo, you getting 3 to 5 games. You don't talk to the coach like that. You don't disrespect the coach like that.
Tony, as a new father, can you please answer this question and put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show? Is crybaby redundant?
Yes.
What about poop baby?
Also redundant.
I don't think so. I don't think crybaby's redundant. There's plenty of quiet babies. You have such a great baby. I've never heard him cry. You know.
You haven't spent the whole night with him, that's why.
Tim Hardaway just changed it from he's a baby to crybaby, and I thought those were the same thing. I thought those were the same insult. Is crybaby worse than baby? Calling him a baby? It is.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The act of crying kind of.
Crybaby's a bad baby.
Yes.
Bad baby.
So, but don't you think when he calls him a baby the first time that he wasn't calling him a good baby?
No.
When he called...
Crybaby is necessary.
Crybaby really hammers it home, you know?
What about boss baby or baby driver?
Wow.
Baby Lando.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Aw.
Tim Hardaway was right, by the way. I mean, he sounded like an old player criticizing a young player about.
We don't have to do the
back
Jimmy
in my
Butler
day.
conversation
No, we
again. I
don't,
just
but
wanted to do crybaby. That's all
But
I
he was
wanted
right.
to do here.
He
Timmy
was
was
right.
right,
Crybaby is necessary.
But what is the difference between a baby and a crybaby? I thought a baby is also capable. Like, so if the original baby is crying, then it becomes a crying
Well,
baby?
not all
Because-
babies cry.
Well, but
And
when
so what
he
he's
calls him a
all
baby,
babies
he's saying
cry.
he's a whimpering baby. He's already
Right.
saying that
Which is the worst kind of baby.
He's,
yes.
When he calls Jimmy Butler a baby, he's saying he's soft, he whimpers, he's weak. That's the insult. He cries.
That's what we're asking here is, what does it mean when you call me just a baby? We all know if you call me a crybaby, I'm crying. What does it mean if you just call me a baby?
You're just acting like an infant without the crying.
I'm with Dan, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you call me a baby, I'm taking it as a crybaby.
As a new father, I think what Timmy should have said was, "You're a colicky baby," because that's the issue. The colicky baby is.
Lee
now
calls
we're
me that all the time.
Really?
When I'm
Okay.
when I'm
Well, now
fussy,
you know.
yes.
Now you know what.
Ooh,
Uncontrollable
fuzzy baby,
crying for
Colicky
6
baby.
hours.
Yeah.
I give you the tete, it doesn't work. I
After
give you to
work
your
when I
mom,
need
it
to
doesn't work.
nap.
I give you leche, it doesn't work. I put you on it doesn't work. I put you in the swing, it doesn't work. You keep crying. You keep crying. That's all you do is cry.
How's your burp game? My burp game was strong. I could burp the shit out of that baby.
It's been good, but now they have a new thing where you got to put him on the knee, and then you got to lean her over, and then kind of do that one. But she's bucking around like a bronco, and I can't get her. Her mom's pissed because I'm doing it wrong. What do you want me to do?
It's always mom over there. She's trying to do it. It's like, give her to me. She'll burp. Come here.
Burping the shit out of a baby sounds like an issue.
Well, it sounds wrong, yes.
Yeah,
it
does.
sounds like, put it on the poll, please,
Double
at Le
whammy.
Batard Show. Are you doing it wrong if you're burping the shit out of a baby?
Yeah.
Not
Sounds
both
like you're
ends.
hurting the baby.
Yes, it sounds like you're burping it so much to acquire the shit that you are.
Sometimes that's a good thing, Dan, because sometimes those babies, they're pushing. They got liquidy poop. They're pushing hard. It's not like, they got something big in there. All of a sudden it comes out and finally relax.
That's what diapers are for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I heard the question, how was your burp game? I'm not gonna reveal my sources on this because this is journalism around here. But before the show started, in an intimate setting with me and Stugotz burped very loudly in front of a fellow employee, and then said, "I'm sorry," in a way that was totally insincere.
That's not fair.
Shocking he apologized.
Sorry about walking away.
Just belched, and it stunk like bacon. Like it was foul. And
Ooh,
it
that's
was
good, a
foul.
I
bacon
had a
belch.
piece of bacon that was stuck to another piece of bacon. I mean,
if you're gonna belch at me, make it a bacon belch.
But what the thing that I was shocked by is that I was told that we have a better and more public belcher than Stugotz in our company today. And I don't think that people know that is Jessica. I believe I'm not going to reveal any sources, any betrayals, anything of the kind.
Right.
But I have been told that our most prodigious belcher is Jessica, and I've never seen that or heard it or smelled it.
I mean, you guys sit by me every day. I don't burp, right?
Never heard you burp. Actually.
No, never happened.
Exactly. It's always Roy, actually.
What?
When Roy's not here, it's Jeremy.
I mean, Jess, I was sitting right here with Dan. I heard from the same source, so.
I'll say it. She burps.
What? You're brave, Chris. Chris, that was an act of bravery.
You know what?
With your
I'm
American
not ashamed
flag.
of it.
Well,
I'm
you
not
sounded
ashamed
like
of it.
you were.
I burp constantly.
Yes, she does. She
I
absolutely
love
does.
burping.
Yep.
I don't hold back. All right? So what?
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not going to give up garlic, so I stopped burping, Dan Le Batard.
Wow.
It's my freedom of burp back
That's
here.
right.
She generally
If I wanna
says.
burp, I can burp.
She generally says, "Excuse me."
Wow.
Tony said it. Listen to Tony.
You're right, Tony.
Thank you.
You're right. Her body, her choice.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Let
If
him
you don't
fly.
fart,
For
Dan,
now.
do you burp?
He doesn't do anything. He has no release.
That
No
air's
release.
got to go
Gotta
somewhere.
go somewhere, buddy.
Again, you guys are misinforming the public. It's not that I cannot burp or fart. It's that if I burp or fart, my body has consumed something it should not consume. I am not a repressed orb of farts that cannot escape.
Un peo trabado. That's
Or
that's all you
burps
are.
that cannot. No, yo no
Peo
soy
trabado.
un peo trabado. No soy peo trabado. Soy peo orgulloso. Stop misrepresenting me. I'm a sleep farter. I was just informed of that the other day to my mortification. And it's after I've eaten in restaurants where they've lied to me about the ingredients. Because I'm like, no dairy, no gluten. I need vegan cheese. I need
It's their
garlic
fault,
and no
huh?
paprika.
Right.
And I need
Only
to make
pecans.
sure there's no turmeric. Yes, just pecans and occasionally some macadamia nuts.
How'd the conversation go when your wife revealed to you that you're asleep?
Embarrassing. And it was embarrassing to me. I wasn't even know. I'm like,
Did she have it on tape, like audio evidence? Because my wife did that to me when I was in a snoring thing. She took audio of me snoring. It's pretty bad to listen to.
Do you ever record her?
I have not, but I should. She snored like a lumberjack, that one. Wow. I mean, let's not get started on that.
My wife has started just leaving the room. I'll wake up in the middle of the night. My wife's gone. She's in the guest room
Same.
because of my snoring.
Yeah.
And
Not a good-
probably you're farting too.
Not a great feeling.
You know why
Where
I
it's like,
burp,
my love,
Dan?
where are you? Oh, the bed's empty.
She
You
left
hate
me.
That's the best
I
feeling,
can
by
just
the way.
feel the anger. I can feel the resentment. Even though she's not there, I'm like, yep, I still feel the resentment, though.
Waking up and there's no one next to you, you can stretch out. Underrated feeling. The reason I burp is because I eat too fast. And I know it's my problem and I can't control it. When I see food, I want to eat it really quickly. And then I burp for like 10 minutes and then I stop burping.
10 minutes.
I am sorry if I publicly outed you with sources and journalism.
No, everyone knows this about me. If you've ever met me, you know I burp. Everyone in the family knows that. My grandma actually burps the worst, and it sort of has been passed down through the generations.
She still is a prodigious burper
Oh.
in her 80s?
Prodigious is an understatement.
So it's an heirloom passed down in the family.
Exactly.
Are you able
the only
to?
thing she's passed down to
Are you able to manufacture a burp? Like, can you burp on cue?
Not a good one.
No. Like, what's an example
That's
of your
tough.
burp? Is it a dainty, quiet
No,
burp, or is
no.
it like
Why'd
really
you ask these
loud?
guys?
It's aggressive.
Powerful, I'd say.
A belch.
Let's do Don't Look Now. I don't know why Tony took his blindfold off. I am not looking anymore.
We weren't talking about Don't Look Now. Now we're talking about Don't Look Now. I have my blindfold.
All right, let's. Do we have music? Do we have imaging? What are we doing with this?
It's time for a new game. Don't Look Now.
It's presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
All right, guys, just like we did last week, nobody is supposed to look. Greg, stop looking. Dan already knows not to look. He should not be looking. Stu, you can look around, but don't look too much, okay?
I can't stop looking.
All right, here's the thing. Don't look now. I don't know if you saw this. I was not looking, but I saw Aiden Hutchinson running full speed. That's a good thing. He broke his leg. All of a sudden, he's back. He's running, ready to get locked in for next year. That's right, for a hopeful Super Bowl run for the Detroit Lions. But I'm looking at it here. Aiden Hutchinson says, if you pair me and Myles Garrett, that could be deadly. Don't look now, but the Lions getting another edge rusher. Aiden Hutchinson on one side, Myles Garrett on the other side. Dan, is that deadly?
I mean, good God.
It's a different game.
Don't look, though. Don't look.
Different
He's
game.
gonna look.
Yeah.
I'm not looking right now, but I would ask you, and I would assume, I haven't seen the reporting on this, I would simply assume that that's going to cost 3 or 4 first-round picks, is it not? Like, you're not going to get that for 2 firsts, are you?
They don't want to get rid of him at all, so who knows?
But what would that cost? Like, if I give you right now...
I would imagine 3.
If I give you Myles Garrett pass rusher, am I not bringing back more than I am for anybody but a quarterback?
Yeah, but if you're looking, they'll probably give you the 4th one. So you got to not look, get 3, or if you look, they'll give you 4.
Greg Cody, do you have any expert opinions on this as a football expert?
I think you could get him for 2 first-round picks and a starting caliber player. Keep in mind he's almost 30 years old. I mean, he's still great, but he's not in his prime getting better great. I mean, he's going to plateau. I don't.
Well,
think...
what age does that happen? Like, what would remain? Can you guys answer for me?
31, 32.
I looked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You can't look.
I'm imagining the Lions using the Luka deal as negotiating. Like, look what they got Luka for this. I mean, we could 3 first rounds. You're crazy. Look, they got this for Luka. They only did 1 first round pick.
He won't get 3 first-round picks. Mark my words.
Why are we marking that?
Because they're out there. You mark them. You see a word.
Why are you wearing sunglasses right now?
Because I don't want to
He's
look.
not looking.
I can't.
I don't want to look.
I'm going to try to mark these
But
words
you can
without
still
looking.
He said, "Don't look
You
now."
can-
I'm
you
not
can
looking
still-
now.
You can still look with sunglasses, though. You're looking right at him.
No, I don't see you right now. These are
Your
tinted-
eyes are wide open. I
they're-
see that your
no,
eyes are wide open.
These
Yeah, but he
sunglasses
can't
are
see
jet
you.
black.
Yeah.
My wife says these are women's sunglasses. I have no idea if they are or not. But I can't see anything. It's pitch black.
He's 29.
I don't believe that he has fallen out of his prime. But what age is the prime? 26,
At
27?
that position, probably 27, 8.
He's past his prime.
So you have him. You think he's going to only get worse from here, is what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that if he attracts 3 first-round draft picks, I'll put that bowling ball right up my ass.
Wow! Don't look now.
Okay. Don't look now,
Don't
but
look now.
that bowling
Greg
ball
Cody
is...
says if the Lions get
It's
Myles
just he
Garrett,
stopped trying. He has.
He had a great start.
He has
I mean-
stopped
Yeah,
caring that he's on the air. He has stopped caring that this is televised on Peacock and Max, and he's
It's
just
an adult show.
His
bowling
body,
ball
his
up
choice.
ass.
I've never wanted that trade to happen more.
I mean,
we're going to televise that. We're now he's on the record. He has publicly stated that if Myles Garrett gets 33, clip that so that we have it. So he has to pay that Venmo fine of surgically having that 16-pound purple bowling ball shoved up his ass.
Yeah. I misspoke. I meant a cue ball.
Oh,
still
big difference.
Yeah, I mean, still, but
that's a walk in the park.
Exactly.
Compared to that,
really.
Jeez.
All right, everybody, don't look now.
He had 14 sacks last year.
I got another one. Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
Okay. Don't look now, but the Minnesota Vikings have until March 4th to franchise tag Sam Darnold. What's going to happen there?
Wow, TikTok.
Played well. You got J.J. McCarthy there. You have something else. Don't look now. A second don't look now. Dan Le Batard, don't look. Could we see Aaron Rodgers following the Brett Favre formula of Green Bay, New York, all of a sudden ending up in Minnesota?
You need to look at the clock. We're 8 seconds over and 2 questions too many into Don't Look Up.